All right, we're back. Everything black. Tonight we're talking about the abortion argument, and here's a little history on the issue.
Connecticut was the first state to make abortion a criminal offense by punishing anyone who provided or took poison. Horatio Storer is considered responsible for more states criminalizing abortion in the 1800s. By the 1900s, abortion was illegal in every state, but laws varied state by state. In 1921, Margaret Sanger founded what would later become the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. In the 60s, the equal rights movement included a push to demand more rights for women.
I saw Alvin, but he disappeared.
In 1967, Colorado became the first state to decriminalize abortion in cases of rape, incest, or when the mother's life is at risk. In 1971, the groundbreaking court case known as Roe v. Wade was brought in front of the Supreme Court. In 1973, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Roe, and abortion was legalized throughout the United States. In 1994, President Bill Clinton signed the Freedom of Access to Clinic. The act made it a federal crime to physically obstruct the entrance to a clinic and take clinic. The Partial Birth Abortion Act and abortions. In 2016, the Supreme Court made a ruling on the Whole Woman's Health versus Hellerstedt case. The final decision ruled that Texas couldn't place restrictions on abortion services that create an undue burden for women. A leaked draft opinion indicated the Supreme Court would strike down the landmark Roe v. Wade decision. The Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and left abortion decisions up to states and no longer a constitutional right.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to...
Okay. All right. Did y'all get a good understanding of that? Yes, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did.
I did too.
Anybody?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. All right. Okay. You got 5 minutes starting with Elegance on what she needs to talk about on the abortion issue. Her thoughts. So go ahead and give it to us.
I am all for women having a say, over our own bodies and what we're going to do with them. I guess the problem that I have is that I'm not sure how to correct this issue. So before I say this, don't come for me. Don't be like, well, how are we going to change it? I don't know how, but giving people, I guess making it where any woman can go in for any reason at all and have an abortion is what I'm actually against. I think that it should only be available to women who have medical issues, who possibly could die or be unalived during birth, or something like that. It shouldn't just be, you got pregnant by the wrong dude and now you changed your mind and you don't want to have the baby. It shouldn't be, anything other than a medical issue. And I think that women have been abusing that, or some women have been abusing that. If you look at statistics, medical abortions only make up about 2 to 5% of abortions every year, and we're having millions of abortions a year. So I just really feel like they need to tighten up on the laws on the reasons why a woman can go and have an abortion, because I feel like women aren't being held accountable enough for who we're having babies with. We're not being choosy enough about who we're having children with. And then, later on we want to be mad and sad about, oh, well, he didn't stay, but you knew what type of man he was before when you got with him. So why did you think having him was going to make him better? But anyway, not to get off topic, but that's really just my stance on it. I agree with abortion if it's for a medical reason, or if there was some sort of assault involved, or incest, those type of things, like, where it's absolutely necessary. But if it's just because she doesn't want to have the baby, because of the choice she made to lay with whatever man or whatever, then I feel like that shouldn't be allowed.
Okay. All right. Miss Regina,
Mm-hmm.
we're putting you on stage now.
Okay. Well, first, I agree with elegance to a certain extent. My problem is I don't think it's. I wonder who is really having all these abortions, especially since they had the new rulings where we had the new Supreme Court and all this other things like that. Even before that, I didn't know a whole lot of women. It was a few. I put it like this: all the women I know, I think I've known two that had more than one because they were being irresponsible. But they looked rolled off themselves anyway. I mean, some people just do crazy stuff. So, it's not really a surprise. But a lot of women don't put themselves in the situation to the point where if a baby do come about, they're not willing to say, suck it up and go ahead and handle their responsibility and take care of the child or do what they need to do. Or if they decide to have a child and say, well, I'm not the parent for that child, to find someone else that want to raise them. That happened with a couple of people I know that where they did have their children, but somebody else wanted those kids. And they did carry the babies to term, and other people raised them, and they were part of that family or what have you. And but to me, I think the abortion issue, they just slapping abortion on this whole thing because they trying to cover something else up. When you put abortion, a lot of people is gonna just say yes or no or what have you. But when in actuality, they just trying to control what women do with their bodies and their reproductive parts and different things like that. So if you just slap abortion on there, they think that that's the whole thing in a nutshell, and everybody's gonna be all against abortion. When in reality, it's a whole lot more to this than what they're saying. And unless you're a woman that have been through certain things, or in the medical field, that know that some things are terminations, because that's what they call them medically. It's a lot of things that deal with terminations and different things that don't really have to do with abortions or anything like that, as far as like maybe some miscarriages or anything else like that. If it's a miscarriage, and they have to go in and actually deliver that baby preterm without it being to the age of being viable, that's going to be considered a termination. And it's a whole slew of different things like that. So I just think that they're slapping abortion on there first so they can start controlling women and knowing what's going on, because half these men know darn well they're not finna take care of all these babies that women finna have. And so they just want to be having control. So
All
that's
right.
just my thing. It's just a whole lot
Go ahead.
more to it than just abortion.
Okay, in a minute, I'm gonna ask you to go into that because we trying to see what you see, and I need you to go a little deeper.
I
And
will.
Rock, come on.
I go deeper because it is a whole lot more to it. It just I'm trying to find a good way to put it without it being so, I don't know.
We're gonna,
So,
we're
just
gonna
to
just
not, to the people's like, oh, I don't want to hear all that. But it is more to it than that.
okay. All right, Rock Nation, come on in and do your thing.
Well, I do agree with abortion. And kind of to piggyback on what Elegance was saying, like, I just don't believe it should be those three, like, if something is medically wrong or rape or incest, but it's so many other things that goes into it why I am for it. And also, like what Miss Regina saying, I do understand that the government is trying to control population. But I do also understand it's so many women that's not competent enough to even have a baby, especially when you got so many young ladies that's not being raised properly, and the mothers don't even know how to be mothers. You got so many young women that done had kids early, and they think just because they went through it, you can do it as well. And I feel like that's the wrong information to push off on a young teenage girl who could have been easily manipulated by a young man to rush into sex or rush into unprotected sex or whatever the case may be, and knowing they're not capable of fully taking care of a child. And so I definitely feel like to protect the young lady's future, I definitely feel like abortion is, because a 15-year-old, 16-year-old don't even have the mind capacity to understand what she's going to get ready to go through. And for her to be 16 and her mother is 32, 16 years older than her. So it's like she feels as if, but like someone should have took the initiative to save her, because bringing a child into the world, especially when you're unprepared, man, it's hell. And to put a young woman through such turmoil at such a young age, I really don't feel like it's right. I feel like they need to have the opportunity to grow and to learn, and to have someone to coach them and show them how to be a mother and what a mother is, and especially what a young woman is. So a lot of the stuff that the government is trying to, because it's bigger than is more blacks that's on food stamps, Medicaid, like putting these kids in the housing program, and they use this stuff to get over, and it makes them lazy, and it makes them, well, and the government is probably looking at, here go abundance of another statistical child that's in the system, that. So a lot of it is control. But when you do sit back and you think about what's going on in our communities, the inner cities, and majority of the time it's these blacks. But I'm not saying other races are not going through this, but for the Hispanic groups, their family is probably not, they're against abortion, because Hispanics groups, me growing up, Hispanics has always been together. They always come together, and they probably take care of a lot of stuff inside the house. So you really don't know a lot of trouble or a lot of stuff that's going on. But as far as the black community goes, like, it's really shunned upon to say, I want an abortion, I don't think I'm ready. A lot of young black women, they'll tell their daughter, I done it, you can do it. I had you. And it's almost like it's okay to have sex at an early age, in a sense. And so, like I said, I do feel like it's a lot of more stuff that's on the table besides, rape, incest, or medical conditions that. So I'm for abortions if for the right reason. And then plus two, also at the same time, we also know how many women put men on child support and it don't even be the father. Like, so it's a lot of stuff that, and I do understand women they have rights to their own body. And I'm not trying to go against anything. Like, this is what God gave you, so you do have this right. This is your personal being. So, but at the same time, it takes two people to do anything. Mm-hmm. So before you go through with something that you're not willing to take full responsibility for, if this man is willing to back out, like, it shouldn't be no child support. If he's saying, okay, we both made mistakes as an adult, because a man can only do what a woman allow him to do. Mm-hmm. Like, women know when it's unprotected and when it's not unprotected. But if you're allowing this man to do this and to do that, like, they both should take responsibility of this baby. But if either party say, I don't want the baby, I feel like abortion should be on the table. You don't get to hang child support or nothing like that over the man's head, or the man shouldn't hang like, well, you let me do this, I want a baby. Well, if the woman don't want the baby, that's still her decision as well. I think it should be a two-party conversation. So, like I said, when it comes to abortion, there's a lot of stuff I feel like should be on the table. Then just three. That's just my take on it.
Okay. I was trying to get to a video and couldn't get to it. I thought you was going to keep going on, but couldn't get to it. But this video is kind of showing. Oh, well, keep going. Give me time to get this video. Go ahead and turn the wheel.
In the draw, like,
can I?
But like, that's,
go ahead.
Like, go ahead.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Frank, can I? No, I just want to elaborate on something he said, because he actually was a perfect segue. Since you want us to, I mean, I think since we're sharing the time and you want time to find your video, I just thought this would be a perfect time, since he did kind of segue into what I was going to say. You know, I think what a lot of people also don't realize is that baby making is a business for the U.S. And there was a video that I wanted to pull up where a lady is praising.
What's the name?
I think I can. Hold on, let me see if I can get it to work. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if I can get this to pull up.
But okay, somebody else need to talk while she's doing that.
Well, no, I can tell you what it was about while I'm looking for the video. I found it, but while I'm looking for it, the video is about a woman she's actually praising. So the video is actually praising a judge in Georgia who has just passed or repassed, like, making abortion legal again in Georgia. And it's something in her paperwork, though, when she shows the actual court work, like the court paperwork, as to how he got it passed. I want women to actually don't pay attention to the fact that, yay, he passed the abortion. I want you to actually read what's in the paperwork, the legal statement from the court, because the way that they word it will let women know that they think that your womb is just a baby making machine for them. It has nothing to do with you. It is all about making money. I mean, and not to go down this rabbit hole, but if anybody knows about the Social Security and the straw man and that type of thing, it's a business. So the minute you let your child get stamped with a Social Security number and all of that, the state owns them. You're doing the state work. So let me show you what they say about you in this. Hold on.
Nah, you definitely right about that. That Social Security number gonna tell everything.
Okay, you gonna be able to pull that up?
Y'all see that?
No, we can't see it.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Hold on. It said that I was sharing. Hold on. It said I was sharing. Sorry. Hold on. Let's see.
Sorry.
But man, like I said, man, that abortion stuff tricky, man. But like I said, it's so much stuff that goes into it. And like I said, I respect women with the utmost, but a lot of women do a lot of mind manipulating when it comes to certain situations. And so, like, if you know you're not capable of taking care of a baby, like I don't think you should bring a child in the world. If you can't, especially with this day and age, with this generation, like, man, everything is high. You know what I'm saying? A gallon of milk, you know, Similac, Enfamil, whatever, that's damn near $30 a can.
It is. It's more than that.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't afford no child, man, and I feel like that's what need to be preached. But like, you do understand that men do run game and make themselves look like they're this and make themselves look like that, and they manipulate women into trying things that, you know, the I love yous and you beautiful and this my first time, I want you to do it. And a lot of women get trapped by a lot of men, you know. So I do understand the other side of it as well. Excuse me, but you know, if you're not capable of taking care of a baby, don't go through it. I don't feel like, regardless of the situation, don't make another child suffer. But I'm not saying you go almost the last 5. Like, I think you only can do it for like 4 months or something like that. I'm not sure, like 4 or 5 months maybe. But don't have your mind made up in the beginning.
6 weeks in Texas, I know, because first of all, you don't know you're pregnant till you're 6 weeks. So
yeah, but I'm just saying, how long is it before the time is up, before you can get an abortion?
6 weeks in Texas.
But most women, I didn't. When I was pregnant, I ended up having a miscarriage. But when I was pregnant, I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was about 6 or 7 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. You don't find out until then. And really, to be honest with you, they did that to make it sound like they're giving you some time. To be honest with you, your clock starts for your pregnancy when you start your lesson. So really, you're not pregnant for 2 weeks. You're not pregnant until you ovulate, which is usually in between the cycles. So it's anywhere between 12 days and about 15 days that you get pregnant. And so by the time you find out that you're pregnant, you're only late like a what? You're technically late a week later. So you're only really technically 3 weeks pregnant. You know, that's the way you are really. But the way they do it, you're like 5.5 weeks.
So it's like you're damn near too late to get the abortion by the time you find out.
Exactly. So you might as well say it's not legal like that.
Null and void.
Yeah, you can hang it up. You it's not gonna happen. And you can hang it up. You know, I don't like abortion for people who think that it's like a thing for contraception, or you just run around here turning up every time you turn around and having a hot girl summer and things like that. What?
But I think a lot of it.
I think a lot of it has to do with where some people, depending on, it's between them and whatever belief system that they have, between them and their family that they have. You never know what's going on with this person. This person can be mentally ill and have to take daily medication. If they're pregnant, they can no longer take that medication. So you're putting their mental health in jeopardy along with everybody else, because ain't no telling how they're gonna be outside when they are not on their medicine. But it's the truth. I mean, here it is, this person who really can't pass personality right. You're gonna have them raising a child.
But then why not use regular contraceptives? And,
I'm talking about a mentally ill person. I'm talking about a mentally ill person. They can't take their regular medicine. Okay, they not take no regular medicine. You know, it's just not gonna happen because they don't like taking regular medicine. And they are taking regular medicine. It's all kinds of things. Like for me, I have some
mentally ill.
Right, I got 30-something-year-olds. Back in the day, they didn't tell you nothing.
Wait, what? Rock said, wait, Regina, Rock said if they're mentally ill, they shouldn't be having sex.
No, they giving it away when they mentally ill. I promise you, they said any and everything to move. I worked with mentally ill people at one point. You know, I worked with learning disabled people, and they're very highly sexually driven people because of it's their medicine that does it. And so some of those people not be having babies, period, point blank clear, period. But they do get pregnant here and there. It's a bunch of folks that's around here pregnant that should not be having babies, but their mental capacity is not there to where they can think to the point of something long term and consequences.
Hey Frank, when you get finished showing, when you finish showing this one, I sent you the video. I couldn't get mine to pop up right, so I sent you the video that I was
All right.
trying to get up. I sent it to you in Messenger.
Okay, we're gonna watch this one and check this out, and y'all tell me what you think on this. I want to try to move it up to. Hold on. Shit. I want to try. Let me find these people right here. Right here. Right here. Let me go and start it.
Tonight, on Frontline, for the first time on American television, the experience of abortion.
With the vacuum cleaner pulled apart, ripped to pieces.
This is the story of the 4 women who have their babies and 2 who choose to come here. The abortion clinic.
The film revolved around the Reproductive Health and Counseling Center. Women who came to the abortion clinic spoke about their decisions.
Can you tell me why you chose this option as opposed to the other ones? Do you know what they are?
No.
You don't know what your other options are?
Well, keeping it adoption.
Mm-hmm.
But I know if I went through the 9 months, I would have kept it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wouldn't have had a good life because I can't support myself yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be able to handle being a single parent on my own.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Those in the community who steadfast side.
Girls are coming here on Saturday morning to have abortions. We pray for their babies and for them, and we also pray for the abortionists. Maybe some of them don't realize what they're doing.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Last year, I returned to Pennsylvania, once again to a community that is today even more bitterly divided over abortion. The conflict
Measured one at 5.4, so 5 weeks and 4 days, and twin B at 5.6. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to do your blood pressure. Now, does this change anything in your decision today?
No.
Here you are.
Just time with someone that I've been seeing, and I thought, well, you know.
No.
Have you ever had an abortion before?
One. Well, this is my choice that I'm doing because I don't want to bring another child into the world and I'm not financially stable. I'm already struggling with the 4 that I have. So I'm not sure what my other option would be. But if
Condoms?
this wasn't an option, then I know I would be struggling.
Condoms are a great option.
You can go back. You can take your upstairs, okay?
most of the women we approached to be in the film declined. Those who chose to speak, like Shahara and Taryn, told us they wanted their stories to be heard.
I'd had unprotected sex just one time with someone that I've been seeing, and I thought, well, you know, surely one time, you know, I would just get sort of a grace period on that. And I had essentially talked myself out of the fact that I was pregnant.
Like, how old are you?
I don't think so.
Okay, a little bit of gel, a little bit of
talking like
pressure
she's
to cover
16
all the
though.
skin. It gives me a nice clean look inside the uterus.
I already have two small children, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old from a previous marriage, and I'm recently single. I have a corporate career, and so I decided that the best thing for me to do at this point in my life was going to be to terminate the pregnancy.
So your ultrasound results, I saw a multiple pregnancy.
Oh,
So
Lord.
I saw twins.
So she killing two.
Okay, I measured one at 5.
Yeah, God was finna get you.
And twin B at 5.
Twins, but at one time you thought having a sex was
Oh,
okay.
heck no, I'm going through with it.
Yeah, I would have
So I'm
too.
gonna do your
I've always wanted
blood
twins.
pressure. How does this in your decision today? On our end as well.
Okay.
Things stay just the same.
This is not a position that I ever thought I would be in.
No,
My
I would have
initial
had
thought
the babies.
was,
I
should
wouldn't have
tell
had
no
that.
one
That
about
twins
this,
let her know it was meant to be.
right? Like
You
this
have
should
one
just
here.
be, you know, a secret that I take to my grave, because it'll change how people, you know, see me fundamentally, or people will judge me for this.
Elegant. Okay, check this one out.
What you? I didn't hear what you said. So,
It's a good one right here.
Be laid back right where you are and just open the case.
I said check her out right here.
So the jaw's gonna feel a little cold on your stomach.
Listen to what she say.
You froze, I think.
I'm seeing something that resembles another sac. Twins.
She having two of them too.
Yeah, it was twins too.
So I'm gonna do some.
What does that mean? So like
That means you're killing
is,
two
is
babies.
the procedure any different?
No, it's exactly the same. It's no different.
Why does it feel so different?
Why does it feel different?
Yeah. When she said that there were twins, I wasn't prepared for that at all. I didn't even consider the possibility.
And look who she having a baby with. Y'all hold on.
It's
our decision.
It completely does. You guys, you're 6
That's you, Frank. Oh.
Which means you have time. You feel like if you guys went home and thought
I'm
about
just
it,
playing. I'm
you
playing.
take a few days and make sure that this is what you
Regina,
want.
you know it. That's what I said.
Like, I want you to be certain that this is what you want to do.
It was a double punch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was
Frank having twins.
Talk like
we're not
Frank.
taking this lightly at all.
I want you to be guys to be confident, and you can always reschedule and come back on Tuesday if you want.
Oh,
I
they should
appreciate
keep them
that.
two babies. Come on now.
Force
Watch for the reason, though. Watch for the reason.
Our son
Was he
Watch
black?
the reason.
He is on the spectrum, non-specific autism, more leaning towards Asperger's. He doesn't like to interact with humans. He doesn't like children at all. I think that this has a lot to do with Noble. A lot to do with my son.
I get it.
I get it. In situations like this, I'm not opposed to that.
We've been married for 5 years. We have.
Them first two women, though, they for the birds. Y'all should use condoms. Oh,
Right.
yeah, that last lady. I mean, I
Dang,
understand.
so she said she think her son. Did she say she think her son would hurt the babies because of his
Yeah,
autism?
Yes.
Because he's more Asperger's
Yeah.
than anything else, and Asperger's, they have a problem with dealing with like social interaction with other humans. You know what I mean? So he's very aggressive when he's angry, those type of things.
Man.
So I definitely I
That's a hard pill to
understand.
swallow right there.
Yeah, I
Okay,
understand
I
for
need
the
one of
last
y'all to
lady.
answer.
Them first two women, though, them first two women are exactly the reason why I think we shouldn't allow just anybody to get abortions, because though you could have avoided all the first 3 ladies or whatever, they could have avoided all of that by using contraceptives. They could have used, I mean,
well, I'm gonna put it like this, speaking from a person who get pregnant just by looking at you. Yeah, I stayed pregnant for 5 years. How about that? I did.
Did you ever get pregnant while using?
I took all my
Hold on, ladies. Hold on.
So you
Hold on,
were
ladies. We're
taking,
gonna
no, wait,
go
no,
one
she
at a
just
time.
answered what I was going to ask. You were taking birth control when you got pregnant.
But see, this was back in the late 80s, early 90s. So yes, I took matter of fact, my second child, I went to go get my refill. They gave me my prescription. I get home. Matter of fact, I bought a car on the way home, right? Get home the next day. I'm keeping my son working nights. And the doctor called.
You got that.
Hey, they giving me something crazy. And she asked me, did I get my prescription? I told her yes. And she said, well, have you taken them? And I said, well, it ain't time for me to take it yet. She said, well, no. And I was like, well, what? I'm scared. But now I'm like, what they give me? I was pregnant. I was pregnant already. Going while I was trying to get some more prescription, another prescription. So I look over and I don't feel because I'm working nights, keeping my son through the day because daycare is high. And he in everything up on the sun. He got Vaseline on his hair and baby powder. So I just started crying at the time because I wasn't expecting that. Because I didn't understand where he came from in the first place. Don't get me wrong. I love my kids, but coming from a person who follow what they're supposed to be following and doing what they're supposed to do, I couldn't understand why I was kept getting pregnant. First of all, I worked down there at the dirty jail and we kept infections. So every time you turn around, you was on some kind of bacteria because it was some kind of flu or something going around. Nobody back then, those pharmacists or anything never asked you then if you were taking other medication. They just give you the medicine to keep on going. The doctors didn't even care. And they didn't tell you when you taking antibiotics that you had to do something else. And I couldn't never figure it out. I couldn't, I was like, what is going on? It took way later when we started getting a little bit more information on a whole lot of stuff. It took me to watch Oprah Winfrey. Find out that's the reason why. But then at that time, I done had 3 babies and a ectopic pregnancy in between there. Okay, so it took. I said, "Oh,
I know exactly why you were getting pregnant."
Huh?
I know. Hold on.
Well, I know that, but one of the babies, I don't even know where it came from because I had at this point I was trying to have nobody getting none. It's just how they went. Where she came from. My poor baby in the house right now. So
okay, well, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Were you married? Were you married?
Yes. Not with my son, I wasn't. He was
Okay.
first. When my girls dad, yeah, we got married. And after them, after the girls. But we were together, we were living together and everything else. So we was getting married, all this other stuff. So it just babies. It was just every time I turned around, like I said, it did not matter. I was getting pregnant, and I couldn't understand how I kept getting pregnant. But evidently, nobody at my job either, because we all stayed pregnant up there. So that's just how it was. It was in the water. It was a joke. It's in the water, and it come to find out, like I said. It looked like because we were always sick or trying to come off of some kind of cold or flu or something because I worked at the jail.
The antibiotics were
The antibiotics was knocking them out, and nobody told us anything. Never told us we need to that our birth control probably wasn't gonna work during those time periods or anything like that. So. Well, like I said, we stayed pregnant. And matter of fact, I think we were tit for tat, all us, for a long time up there. So,
I mean, I could understand if they had a situation like what you had, like definitely if you're on birth control and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you wind up pregnant, of course, that would be like, wait, whoa, I was already trying not to get pregnant and I got pregnant. So yes, I would say I agree with that. But those first couple of ladies on the video he played are, unfortunately, statistically, most of the time, what happens to come into an abortion clinic. They are women who are like that one lady. She grown. She probably in her 30s, talking about she thought she would get grace for the one time.
She got 2 kids already. I was like, wait,
man, like,
what did you think them other babies came from?
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think that with abortion laws, we have to be very specific in outlining what are the reasons why a woman can get an abortion, because if not, women are not going to be held accountable. The whole point about moving forward, our society moving forward, needs to start holding everyone accountable. The man needs to be held accountable, but the woman does also. And I definitely agree with something that Rock said earlier, that if and when a couple gets pregnant, married or not, when they get pregnant, it is their pregnancy. The woman should not be able to go and terminate that child's life if the man is not okay with that. They need to come to some sort of agreement. She was okay with laying down with him, but now when he has a say-so, she's not going to give him a say-so with the child. That's not right, because there are a lot of women who, regardless of if the man is begging and pleading them, please don't get rid of the baby, they end up terminating anyway, in spite of what the father wants, and that's not fair either.
I get that, Elegance. Okay, so I get what you're saying. It is both man and woman, because how does she get pregnant? Why we sit up here demonizing
without his sperm,
women,
the baby wouldn't be
criticizing them. The men, what's going on with them? If he say he don't want her to have abortion, what he plan on doing with this baby?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, we don't even give them the option to say so. We just assume, most of the time, society. Let's be real. Statistically speaking, society is always going to back the woman. They never give the man the benefit of the doubt. They always assume that he's just going to automatically be some deadbeat dad, and that she was right in terminating the pregnancy. And that's just really statistic. That's not my word. That's statistics. We can look that up. There are a lot of women today who get pregnant and say, forget what he wants. Even if he says, I want to keep it, can we think of something else? Maybe he would have kept it. What if his parents and his family was a great support system and would have helped him be a single dad? You don't know. You just went and terminated it anyway.
Well, I see a bunch of single dads now. But
and can y'all hear me?
How you doing?
Yeah, hello to
ladies. We got
and excuse
we're
my
gonna
tardiness.
give one moment, Alvin. One moment.
Okay.
One moment. Okay. Regina, what was that last part you said?
What part?
About the men. You said something about, and then she said that the men should maybe have family support to take care of the baby. You said something about.
I was saying,
the men before that.
I said, I get that where it's both the men and the women who had these babies, and they both should be responsible. But then, if the woman want to have one, and he said no, what is the recourse? He has to come up with something other than you carry this baby, because I don't want you to get rid of this baby. He's gonna have to come up with, okay, well, I'm gonna keep the baby.
Okay, here we go. All right, we got the men. Ladies, we got the men here. I got you. We got the men here. Alvin, it's your time to give your insight on this.
First of all, I'd like to apologize for my tardiness, and I like Mr. Rock's perspective. I would like for Mr. Rock to fill me in on how you don't mean to get pregnant, but you get pregnant. Rock, break me off, man. Let me know.
That you saying how you get pregnant and don't mean to get pregnant?
Yeah. I was listening to the lady, and let me know, Rock, how they don't mean to get pregnant, but they get pregnant. How does that happen, Rock?
Easy. Oh, you didn't hear my part, did you?
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like it's a bunch of ways that accidents do happen, and I do understand sometimes drugs and alcohol play a part in it. Sometimes when you're in the moment, and sometimes when you think your birth control then it's kicked in and it ain't done kicked in. There's so many things that's on the table that, you know what I'm saying, when a woman, especially, but the thing about that too, I really don't think it's an accident. Sometimes, like, I feel like when a woman is trusting you with her body, like, come on, man, she just in that moment, like, this what's finna happen, man. It ain't no ways around it. It ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. But I do think women are irresponsible when they come to taking care of their body. And what I'm saying about that is this: if a woman is having a normal cycle, you need to know when you ovulating and you're not ovulating. If you going through those processes of being able to have babies, and you know you have a normal cycle like everybody else, like, if you know you ain't trying to get pregnant, make better decisions when you knowing what your body is going through and the ups and downs of being a woman, and you know when you ovulate and you don't ovulate, and when you can have sex and when you can't have sex. Take heed, take control, because you are responsible for you. You know what I'm saying? So, and like you wasn't here a while ago, but like, I kind of agree with that woman earlier in the video that we played. And the video was, Al, I don't think you had saw it, I don't think you was on yet, but like, she had already had 2 kids and was a single parent, but she had a high paying job. And she was being supported. She could, you know, take care of the 2 kids she got, and without losing no. And so she ended up getting pregnant. But she's making a financial decision, like, she's not gonna be able to take care of a 3rd child. I'm not gonna be able to go through this. So I feel like she did the right thing by getting rid of the baby. Like, but also on the back end too, I don't want to sound, because I'm a man, and I don't want to sound like I'm being disrespectful to what the woman is going through, but even the interracial couple a while ago, when they got an autistic son, and this is me, and I'm just speaking for my opinion. If I was in that situation, me and my old lady, and my son is not good with humans, like, I don't want to kill my twins. I'm finna put my son, and the son that's autistic, I'm finna see about putting him in the home to give my other kids an opportunity. I don't, it sounds like I'm neglecting him, and I know how it sounds coming out of my mouth.
I feel you. I feel that.
But here go 2 seeds that might have a better chance than, and we already know what this son at the house is doing. We already know what I'm up against with him. But I got two kids, and they're twins. But I do understand with them coming in being interracial kids, they're gonna have so many different stigmas that they're gonna go through in life. But I'm finna put this son, we gonna put him in a home or something. And we finna, baby, come on, let's go. Let's get up out of here. We finna put Junior, we finna put Rock Junior in the nursing home and let somebody take care of him. But we finna have these.
All right,
No,
like,
he wasn't
like
added up to
right.
going to nursing home. Asperger's, it really, it's not
Hold
bad.
on, Regina.
No, but she makes a
Okay,
good
I
point.
know.
She makes a good point, though.
Oh my God, elegance.
Yeah.
Please. Let me get Regina.
Go
in
ahead,
here
Al.
too.
Let me
Go
get my
ahead.
dog. Yeah.
Alvin, you on mute.
Ivan, right? Is it Ivan or Alvin?
Ivan.
Alvin.
He's Ivan. Okay. It's Ivan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ivan.
Okay. Hold on a minute, Ivan. Hold on a minute. Regina is burning up over here. We need to let her get this out over here.
Oh no! I was letting him talk because I want to hear what he got to say. Now he got the summary from Rock. I was I want to hear what he got to say about that.
Okay, go ahead, Alvin. I think you're on mute. Go ahead.
I definitely agree with Rock. I wish I could have caught the videos, y'all, but these 5G headaches be tearing me up.
Okay.
we lost you, Ivan.
What in the hell happened?
Not sure.
He got caught up by a tornado or something.
Oh no, because
Nah, for real.
tornadoes running around. Don't say that.
We rebuke that. We rebuke that.
I don't say that because
We
it
rebuke
is.
that on behalf of Ivan. We rebuke that. He was
Uh-huh.
having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay, elegance.
Yeah.
Elegance. Now you saw how those two different couples, well, one was a couple. Now I believe that the first the white lady there with that was in the red dress, that had the twins at first. And she had two kids, right? Before she had twins was coming, she had two kids already.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she was a secretary, probably involved with her boss. Found out that it wasn't gonna work.
You're drawing a whole life up for this lady. We can't pretend to know what's up with this lady. Frank, you about to make a whole imaginary life for this.
What is Frank talking about, man?
It's possible, but no, we're not gonna make a scenario. No, we're not.
Frank, you done made up a whole imaginary life for this woman. Stop now.
No, she turned up one weekend. That's exactly what happened. She didn't have her. She sounded like she one of the ones that was using the diaphragm or some one of the ones that you have to put a contraceptive that you got to use every time that you have sex, and she wasn't prepared. And that's exactly, and she decided to go ahead and go with it in the first place, and she got caught up. That's what it sounds like.
But you know what? When I got pregnant, it wasn't planned, and never once did abortion run across my mind. Not once. I was terrified. I was not ready. I thought I went to the doctor because I thought I needed my appendix out. My stomach was hurting in my bottom right quadrant, and I worked at the hospital. I know what that means. Usually you go down and they do the recoil test. They press on your stomach and they see if you need your appendix out. I mean, and I'm thinking I'm having issues with my I don't know. And he told me, no, you're pregnant. And I was like, wait, who pregnant? I didn't even think I could have kids, y'all. But never once did abortion run through my mind. I just don't understand why women are so quick to think to kill the baby, like to unalive the baby. That's just like that. Never once. The only thing that ran across my mind was I better get it together because I'm about to be a mother.
Oh, he back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Let me say this.
Let me
hold
on, Alvin.
No, I'm listening.
Let me just finish mine. I promise it's going to take less than 60 seconds. I'll say this because I wanted to say this earlier. I do feel like women need to be more choosy with who they have kids and how they have kids. If you know your pockets are already low, then you need to take that into account when you're having sex too. Use a condom because you know you broke. I mean, and because if you had a kid, you wouldn't be able to take care of it. Period. When you know you're broke, you don't go out to eat. So why are you having sex without condoms? It's the same thing.
I done seen some folks go out to eat broke as okay. So now we talk about people who make good decisions. Those I'm telling you who gonna get pregnant. You the silly ones. They're the ones get pregnant. Just like if you don't know who the daddy's gonna be, it's gonna be the brokest one, the craziest one. He gonna be the daddy every time. That's just how that kind of go. So no, we can't say that. We go about way it is, but not everybody.
We're sorry. Go ahead, Ivan. We're sorry.
No, it's cool. No, it's cool.
We got Alvin coming up right here. So
yeah,
Ivan coming up.
Hey, I stand to be corrected. But I'm all for pro-choice. You have various situations. Yes, we do. Yes, you do. And that's a hard choice to make. But it definitely has its place. But too often it's one-sided. I know the women carry the baby. And hey, that's God's doing. But men are rarely ever considered. It be a biased decision, and they run with it. You have like Rock said, you have different situations, and it has its place because there's some heinous things that take place. situations, you know, but it has its place. But too often, like I said, men are not considered in the matter, you know. And I wish I would have, you know, could have caught the videos. Y'all forgive me. So that's all I can say on it, really.
Okay. Um, a question here: has anybody ever ever had an abortion or dealt with that in the family, or one of elegance? Have you ever dealt with anyone having an abortion, or it happened to you, or
I've dealt with I've never had an abortion, never used Plan B, but I've witnessed a couple of people in my life that have had abortions. There's one that I won't talk about just because it involves a minor at the time, and so I won't talk about that one. But there is one that I will talk about. There was a girl that I used to be friends with, and you know, this wasn't the main reason I stopped being her friend, but this was the beginning of the end because it started making me question how her thought process, you know. But she was having hot girl summer, and she had twins by one dude that she already knew wasn't a good father because she was pregnant with her twin. He beat her up while she was pregnant. He was not present for the twins, so she left him. And then a year or so, or like a few years later, ended up messing around with him and the current dude that was already helping her take care of her kids, and wound up pregnant and called me crying saying, "Oh, I'm about to have an abortion." And I'm like, "Well, why?" And she said, "Well, I just couldn't live with myself if the girl's dad was the father of my baby now. Like, I already know how he is." And so the whole time I'm trying to give her comfort, but the whole time, I'm not gonna lie, I was in my head like, "You stupid. You already knew what type of dude he was. So why would you go and lay down with him unprotected of all things? First of all, why would you lay down with him? You know what kind of dude he is. Second of all, why would you lay down with him unprotected, giving yourself an opportunity to even get pregnant by him again? And that child didn't ask for that. That's the thing. Nobody considers the child.
But what's best though? What's
What
what's 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 best in the matter?
what's best is that you make better decisions and just giving women.
But it still happens though.
I
It
understand,
do
but
happen.
that's the thing though, Ivan. We should not be putting ourselves in these situations and
That's
then
that's
get
Wish
and
it
then
was so
justify
ideal
it.
like that.
that's
And
Wish
then
it was so
hold on,
ideal.
hold on, one at a
no,
time now.
I get what he's saying. Like, it's already happened, so what's the choice? But it's unfair to the child who didn't ask her to go and sleep to create it. So now
But
just
Okay,
because you
I
made a mistake and slept with the same
elegance,
again,
elegance,
I gotta die
no
because
no
elegance,
no 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 no. Let her have the floor.
elegance,
no, I'm
Let her
just
have the
saying.
floor.
But
elegance.
wait, but I want to
Hey, look.
I
Hey,
want
hey,
to
but
ask
check
my
this
full
out. But
question
check
so
this
he
out
can
though.
answer it.
Okay, but check
So
this out though.
Elegance.
you see
Let,
what I'm
let,
saying, Ivan?
let's paint the picture. Let's paint the picture. Um, you saying it's unfair to the child, but is it better? I mean, what's the more evil? An abortion or a child is born into a world, a reality, a divided household. Um,
The reality is
everything.
she could have kept her legs closed.
Yeah, I wish it was
It's
so
not just
ideal
Hold
on
like
a
on,
that.
woman though. I'm not being
hold on.
ugly, but it's not just on a woman. And now if she's with a man, and I don't know how many people have been married. I don't know how many people who are in relationships where you share a household or what have you, and it ain't just all on the woman. Sometimes you do get pregnant now, and it ain't because she's sitting up here. She knows she can get pregnant and all this other stuff. You constantly saying no, 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 but guess what's happening? Somebody poking you from behind
Well,
all
Gina,
night long.
look,
You ain't getting no sleep, and you having arguments the whole time. So eventually,
Vulnerable situations.
sometimes you get caught up. Now I'm
Yeah,
just being
vulnerable
honest.
situations. And okay, you know what? You know what? I wanna be I wanna share a past situation that I have. I reconnected with an old friend, and this time around, um, we call ourselves building a life, committed relationship, and she's a little bit older than I am, and I got her pregnant with one scar tooth, she had been told by doctors after her daughter, she couldn't have any more kids. She was married at one time for 9.5 years, and she always wanted a son, and she went on to adopt a little boy. And me and her reconnected, and I got her pregnant, and we were living together. And she just come up pregnant. It was, I mean, she had been told by doctors she couldn't get pregnant, so I'm free balling. I'm not looking for anything to manifest like that. Honestly, though, yeah. I mean, these
I
kind
get
of
what
things
he's
happen.
saying. Hell, I had a baby after they told me I couldn't hardly have one.
We feel you.
I done had one too. It just decided.
But dig this though. I got her pregnant with one scar too. She was 43 at the time. That child now is a year old. We were living together. About 7 to 8 months in, I got her pregnant. But during that time frame, I'm observing. I'm learning the woman she really is. Because what I was fooled by, I learned something with her. Social chemistry do not guarantee lifelong compatibility.
For sure.
A lot of time we meet people and we think we are compatible because socially we have chemistry.
Yeah, but you haven't checked to see if you're equally yoked in your
morals. But we really don't. No, it's cool. But we really don't know this stuff until it's tested with life. And when I mean tested with life, it's when you building a life together. It's when you really get to know. When you kicking it and you dating it and you living in two different places,
exactly,
it's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy to be fooled by that. But we are living together. And when I got her pregnant, I didn't believe it at first until she started showing. And when I discovered the woman she was, I really begged her to get an abortion, and she didn't want to do it. And the reason why I was begging her to get an abortion because I did not want my child to be living in the reality now, what it is now. It's very frustrating because I am very passionate and tedious about my kids because kids are going to grow up to be adults and they're going to procreate. And kids have to be poured into and raised and tended to. Things really went sour with her because when she had my son, I begged this heifer to breastfeed my son. And I found out, no, this really pissed me off. I found out, it pissed me off because my first two kids, my wife at the time did not
Now, I
breastfeed.
feel him. Breastfeeding is important.
Yes, she didn't give. And when I say breastfeed, it don't have to be pumping. I mean, putting the child on the breast. It can just be pumping milk. Just get them what they need, the best. And my first wife didn't breastfeed my daughter from listening to everybody else, but she did it with my son who came along 4 years later, and I seen the development difference in my son and my daughter. He had an alertness my daughter didn't have till months later. And I contributed to that breast milk. So I begged her to breastfeed my son. He's the fourth child of mine. And I found out 4 months in, this heifer was lying to me about giving him breast milk. She was working with a woman and she was buying that woman's breast milk.
What?
Oh, no, ma'am, no, sir.
Hey, look, it
Me and Regina both.
Hey, look, it pissed me off. I'm gonna be real about this.
No.
I almost whooped that woman ass. I'm serious. It pissed me off because she didn't do it because she was too lazy to do it. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean literally everyone, but women sacrifice their kids all the time. All the time.
Wait, she was giving your child some other lady's breast milk, though?
Simply because she didn't feel like pumping breast milk. And this is a woman, her reality, the lifestyle I was providing. She didn't have to work 40 hours a week. I had her in a position where all she had to do was focus on the house and what needed to be tended to here. I was the breadwinner. And that really pissed me off. They hit a nerve with me that she was lying to my face about breastfeeding my son. 4 months in.
That made me and Regina mad for you.
Yes. Let me tell you, I just got the unctioning one day to ask her, was she giving him breast milk? and she lied and said it was behind a medical reason. And I'm a truck driver, so I'm driving and I'm thinking, Frank, you know how it is in them trucks. You be behind that steering wheel and your mind be going. So now, we going on weeks and I'm asking questions. This heifer gonna tell me she was getting in the shower. So I'm like, if you had all them bags of breast milk, I'm trying to understand how the hell were you pumping every 2 or 3 days and you got all them bags of breast milk? That don't make sense. What were you doing when you wasn't pumping? She said she was getting in the shower, running hot water on her breast, running the milk out. I'm like, nah, I got to get some different opinions on this because that sounds like bullshit. And it was. Long story short, this woman lied to my face about that, and now she.
What was she doing with her milk though? Because it
never started pumping.
More than likely,
she
long
never
time
started pumping. She
That's what
lied
I'm saying, because it dries up on its own after you don't have. If you don't,
no, it'll dry up if you never stop pumping. I know I'm not a woman, but I've been around.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know because the one pregnancy I had was a miscarriage, so I don't know. I've never breastfed, so I'm saying like, so if you have a baby and then you never start breastfeeding, it'll just dry up.
Yeah, it won't even come. Women, what is that? Women got to pump first to get past to start getting breast milk. What is that?
I don't know.
I breastfeed my kids because I told you I'm old, so my kids, when I had kids, they didn't encourage breastfeeding. Nobody.
They did that. They literally did that to black women. They literally did that to our women.
To everybody. I promise you. I was because I was around and I had babies when you was in rooms with other folks. They did it to everybody, and that was not a thing that they encouraged. They just asked you if you are, keep on moving. They didn't have like they have now. They don't have places for you to pump it at your job. The climate has changed so much from then to now, and it changed for the better.
Yeah. We in the age of knowledge. So
that's what I'm saying. It changed for the better. Then it wasn't. We was in the dark ages. I'm not trying to be funny, but that was the thing to do. Is that you gave them formula because and you also got to remember during that time I was having kids, it was in the height of different diseases that they didn't have no control over, which was AIDS and herpes and stuff, that kind of stuff. So
they got control.
Their thing was instead of passing on different things that you had going on with your body, because they pumped you with any kind of medicine at all times, that you just go ahead and give them formula. This is before they had all these different studies that they have now. I'm telling you, my kids is 30-something years old. All of them. My youngest is 31. So this is before that time, and this is how they did it. And they gave you, soon as you had your baby, they asked you was you gonna breastfeed. That's pretty much it. It was like a checklist, and they gave you some pills to dry that breast milk up. Now the first
that was literally on purpose. Hey, look. Let me explain to y'all the power of breast milk. The power of breast milk. We're living in a time now where we are seeing white women built just like our women in record numbers. They literally outnumber our women when it comes to physical attraction. Honestly, outnumber our women. And when I make this claim, I'm well traveled in the States. A lot of people don't know that came from our women breastfeeding their babies. At one time, our women were forced to breastfeed white women's babies. You have never heard of white women breastfeeding black women's babies. And that has literally advanced them people's DNA. That is the power of breast milk. That's the power of breast milk. That is a major reason why a lot of white women are built the way they are. That's one major reason. I'm just giving an example of the power of breast milk. And elegance, if you think I'm exaggerating, talk to folks that got multiple kids.
Oh no, I was breastfed. My mother breastfed me and my sister for the first year and a half of our lives. Almost
my
2 years.
Breastfed my brother, one of my brothers. For it, he was, it's a lot, but if I'm just gonna put it like that, it wasn't encouraged when we was coming along. Matter of fact, we didn't have information. Heck, internet wasn't even around during that time. Internet didn't come in 94. I had my kids by then.
Yeah.
And then it was what's that? You got mail. That's pretty much was it. And you played dominoes on it. That's about all the computers was for. And now you don't have access to a whole bunch of stuff. Even if you went in the library, you had to know where you was going in the library to get certain things. You didn't have whatever information you got, it was what the masses and
hey, y'all, excuse me real quick. I gotta charge this phone.
Huh?
I'm listening though. I gotta
what
grab my
masses and media put out there for you to know. It wasn't like you can go this channel and you can go that channel. And I can go over here and listen to this because it has this certain kind of thing. And it was what came on. You only had like 4 or 5 channels. And if you did have HBO at some point when it first come out, it was like preview or whatever. You didn't get it all day. You got it from 7 o'clock to whatever time in the evening. That's just how things went. So you didn't have the abundance and the
information.
You didn't have the abundance of knowledge. You didn't knowledge was not there where you can get it right away. So you had what they gave you, and you made those choices
just to piggyback on what Ivan was saying, what I'm gonna say is this, man. I'm 43 years old, and what I understand about our culture and about our race, like they said, if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book.
I can't agree with that, Rock.
We're so used to this. What, like, I'm just saying, like,
no, I understand
what you're saying about breast milk.
Such a stereotypical claim, man.
But and I understand that, but just like you're saying, it's so many people who just was passed down trying to find the information for themselves. Mm-hmm. We just take the knowledge that they imputed on us at such a young age, and it's just going from generation to generation to generation.
I get
instead of seeking the knowledge for yourself.
Yeah,
and so
but the knowledge
and what I'm saying about that,
and that's what I'm trying to say, because I've been your age, right? So I know, and I knew what was going on then. Though the knowledge, and I'm glad for it. I'm glad for the wokeness. I'm glad for people.
What I'm
saying,
I
will say this, man.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. One at a time. Come on now. I know y'all got a lot to say, so we got to break it down. We got to make it clear.
What I'm saying to Miss Regina, like what I'm saying to Miss Regina is like what Ivan was saying. Like, breast milk has always been fundamental for our kind. Even way back in slavery, when the master was sleeping with the black woman and sleeping with his wife at the same time, the wife would hand the baby over to the black woman. Way back then, for her to breastfeed her baby, just as the black woman got one baby on this nipple and the white baby on this nipple. Like, so I'm just saying, it's already been proven, history done been proven that breast milk has always been good for us. And I'm just saying to Miss Regina, if someone has...
It wasn't, see, at that time, it wasn't no choices. Not trying to be funny. You was going to breastfeed your baby, so your baby's going to die, period.
No, let him finish what he's saying, if you don't mind.
No formula. It wasn't like that. So somebody was gonna breastfeed them and not trying to be funny. They didn't hand that baby over to that black woman because she had the best breast milk. They did. She didn't want that baby hanging off of her. That's all it was. So she could run around there and fan.
Yes, they did. It was a science.
That's the reason for
that. Go read about Henrietta Lacks. It was a science.
Miss Regina.
You still getting things
from
Henrietta Lacks.
The reason,
the
reason,
hold on, y'all. One at a time. We're gonna go with Rock, then we're gonna come back to Regina, then we'll hit out. Okay, go ahead.
The reason all of this stuff was the reason all of this stuff was taking place is because these white women really got tired of why these black women having these voluptuous lips, why they having these buttocks, this breast, and why these men so muscular and they born with abs and they born with this and they born with that, and it became a competition. So now this white man is saying, put this breast milk on my white baby. Let's see if my white baby can come out looking like this black woman? Or see, can my white son come out and look like this black man? Because our bone structure, our DNA, what God embedded us with, we already was born superior anyway. So now these white people are looking at us like, if we can get our own, we can X them out. So what I'm saying is, from birth, like, this was been embedded. And if you was misinformed, I'm not throwing shade or nothing at you, but like, if you was misinformed that this wasn't appropriate at the time, that's all I'm saying. Misinformation is being passed down somewhere, but breast milk for our kind has always been superior.
Can I just say one quick
argue with that point?
Can I just say one quick
Hold on, y'all.
Argue the point that breast milk was. I know it is now, you know, but then it wasn't pushed. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't pushed on that and during that time for people to have breast milk or anything. The thing was, it was a big thing about formula.
Evan, hold on 1 second, Evan.
Okay.
Hold on,
give the
Evan,
woman
1 second.
freedom. I'm just saying how it was. Give woman freedom so that she could be able to do other things besides having what you got. It just wasn't. You didn't know too many women who was breastfeeding. If they were mostly stay-at-home mothers.
Right.
If they weren't stay-at-home mothers and they had a job, they gave formula. And if they didn't, they breastfed until it was time for them to go to work. And it was formula from that point on. It wasn't no whole bunch. I was around and I was a woman and I had plenty of friends that had babies along tick for tack and all this other stuff. Everybody had formula. And that was doing me. But they didn't push it for us. And we wish that they did. Because had we had the information knowing that it was better to have breast milk, we would have done it. Now we encourage everybody to give their children breast milk, at least for a little bit anyway. Because you get those different antibodies from the mother that those kids desperately need by having breast milk. You can't get that from formula. It's a lot of things that you can get now that you can't get. But they told us everything that was in was in the formula. We didn't have
y'all know what?
To go
Excuse
back
me, what I'm gonna do?
And find this information out when we were young mothers and young fathers. Nobody did that.
Okay. All right, Regina. What I'm gonna do is, I think Elegance had a video we need to see, and then
hey, can I show this real quick?
Yeah, we're gonna let you do your thing now, Alvin, because you're supposed to be next. So go ahead and do what you gotta do now.
I'll make it quick, but I know scratching the surface, that's how it was for y'all then. But trust me, it was a strategic strategy. Hey, look, get this book right here.
Oh yeah, that's a good book.
Get this book right here. A sister who's a doctor.
Hold on, let me enlarge it. Hold on. Let me get you up there on the camera there. All right, go ahead.
Hey,
go ahead and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
No. Get this book. Get this book. A sister who's a doctor in New York done a really deep study. It opened your mind to all of that stuff. They've been working on us for a long time. Yes. It'll really give you a deeper understanding on just how the medical field in the U.S. was really built and just started. Yeah, I get that book right there. But I want to go back to what Elegance was saying. Just elaborating on what I have dealt with. And I know, in what you were saying, what about the child? But my question is, what's the more evil? What's the more evil? An abortion where a child don't have to live in a divided household and grow up to be a dysfunctional adult from being sacrificed. And when I say sacrifice, I'm not saying like a woman building a fire and about to cook the child. No, I'm saying putting her own selfishness before the child, because women do it all the time. They do it when their kids are adults, teenagers, children, toddlers, and I've seen it, infants, an infant. So what is the more evil? I literally begged her to get an abortion because I knew how it was gonna go, and it has gone just as I have expected it.
So to answer your question, I'm going to say this. Abortion is not to be used because two people can't get along and you're going to have a broken household. That is not a reason for an abortion. So if you're going to ask me what the worst is that you two even thought about having an abortion just because you can't get along. My parents, me and my dad, we have a great relationship, but I didn't meet him till I was 16. My mom left, moved to another state. He never met me until I was 16. We had troubles. It caused trouble in our family. We grew up in a troubled household of getting beatings growing up, all of that. But it brought me to the woman that I am. Do you know how many leaders that we've had in our country and in our communities as a Black community that grew up in troubled households, but that's what actually made them strong? So who are we to say that that child is not going to grow up and to be something just because it's a broken household? We don't know. God's thoughts are higher than our thoughts. His plans are higher than our plans. If that child enters the womb, it was meant to be here. Period. That's my belief. That's my belief. If a woman ends up pregnant, that child is supposed to be here now, with the exception of SA, assault, incest, medical things. So there are other things that, maybe she was forced, that's not right, those things. But to just say, just because we can't agree as adults.
I'm concerned about the child and children like that.
But that's poor planning. On what I'm saying is, and just to be frank and not to be rude at all, so please don't take this the wrong way. Really, what I see that situation as is bad planning on your part and the woman's part, because you guys didn't vet each other deep enough before you got into the situation you got into, or whatever. You're like, you just now realized or whatever. Like, you're supposed to, if you know that you can create a whole human being with someone, it is your duty and her duty to actually come together and talk about your morals, talk about how you're going to raise children, talk about breastfeeding versus not breastfeeding. That is not the child's.
I talked about it, elegant.
No, but you didn't talk about it. But what you said was, and I'm just going off of what you said. You said that conversation didn't happen until she was already pregnant. That's not that child's fault. That's bad planning on your part and on her part.
It was still before the child came.
I know, but the child was already conceived. What I'm saying is, you can avoid that whole situation if people are
to go, guys.
I wish it was just that practical.
But look, if people are, but listen, if people are having the conversation before she actually ends up pregnant, that is the most responsible thing to do. You don't wait until she's knocked up to have that conversation.
And the conversation still don't guarantee anything when people can tell you.
So then,
hold on.
Just kill the baby. So then you just
elegance. Please. I'm doing James Brown. Please.
My thing is, what's the more evil? Because
the evil is that people aren't
elegance. Can I talk?
Elegance.
My thing is, what's the more evil? Because kids can suffer. So you mean to tell me every woman that get pregnant with a child is supposed to be here? What if? I'm just saying, though, hypothetically speaking, if that's the case, what's the more evil? A woman can.
Kids are suffering because of the ill planning of the adults involved.
I can't finish.
Hold on.
I haven't talked for a while. I've been letting everybody talk, and so I'm saying,
I'm trying to finish. I'm trying to finish. Just asking the question.
Please.
But no matter the way you put it, no matter how you put it, it's still bad planning on the parents. Y'all didn't have deep enough conversations before you knocked her up.
Hey, look,
those things.
No. We had deep conversations. The thing is, people can easily tell you what you want to hear and still do the opposite. It's called deceit. Deceit is a real thing.
Okay, well, let me know when I'm gonna get a chance to talk, because you repeating the same thing over and over. So can we move on so I can say something?
I okay. Well, you go ahead, because I was.
I'm just saying. All you keep saying is.
Hold on.
I keep getting cut off, but he's just repeating the same thing over and over. You would have already rushed me along by now, Frank. I'm just saying, make it fair, bro.
Yeah, but
fair. You would have already rushed me along.
I never finished painting. I never finished painting the picture, because not all kids grow up to be leaders. Okay, not all of them grow up to be successful. So then what? I understand how you feel.
No,
I understand how you feel.
You don't understand how I feel. No, you don't.
Elegance. Give the man 5 minutes. Let him speak. Let him speak.
It's been 7 minutes.
I'm gonna come back to you.
Hey, look. As much as she cut me off, really. Let's be fair, woman. But yeah. But no. I understand how you feel. But to me, okay, I know. Well, all right. But what's the more evil? Because kids do suffer. I am no stranger to that. That's how I see it. Man, what's the more evil? You know, kids do suffer. Not all of them are gonna grow up to be community leaders, to be wholesome folks. You know, rose from the concrete. Then what?
That's great.
Hey, well.
So that's a good enough reason to unalive them, just because they're not going to be.
I'm not generalizing.
They're going to have a hard childhood, so we might as well just unalive them all.
I'm not generalizing.
He can get through if you let him finish. Please let him finish.
He's saying the same thing over and over, so I'm just responding to what he's saying. He's saying the same thing. He's just rephrasing it and saying the same thing. So I'm just saying, like, so what? So because the child is not going to grow up to be a leader, and because they might have a hard childhood, we should just unalive them? Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Nelson Mandela. Look at Martin Luther King. Look at Malcolm X. I'm just saying, because they're going to have a hard child. We all have hard childhoods.
No, I can't say we all have hard childhoods.
We all have things in our childhoods that we wish didn't happen to us. I had a hard childhood. I was molested by the time I was 8 by my cousin. I was beat. I was abused. I was all kinds of things. But I'm so glad that I'm hearing that my mother didn't think to. I was not a planned child. I was not planned. My mother and my father were already going through a separation when she got pregnant with me. I'm 5 years after my sister. And so I'm so glad they didn't decide to get rid of me, thinking that I wasn't going to be somebody. I'm so glad.
Well,
okay.
That's beautiful.
Now okay, hold on. Now we kind of know the trauma that
there's no trauma because I'm here. There's no trauma.
Hold on. Let me finish. It was some trauma dealing with that.
There's no trauma. What I'm saying is we all have a hard childhood. I only brought that up to say we all have a hard life.
I can't.
Some harder than others, but we all have a hard life. There's no. I don't expect anyone to feel bad for me. I've already worked all that out. Me and my cousin are still cool. I don't have any trauma behind that. What I brought that up to show that people have hard lives.
We understand your passion now. What I'm trying to say.
My passion is because I'm a woman at 41 going on 42 who still has not had children. I didn't think I could have children. If you want to know where this really comes from, the passion behind it is because when I was in my 30s, I accidentally got pregnant, was scared about it, then excited about it, and then had a miscarriage. And sad because now I don't know. It took me over 30 something years to even get pregnant once. So now I'm in my 40s. I don't know if I'll have time to get pregnant again. I don't know what's wrong. They keep telling me nothing's wrong with me, but it's hard for me to get pregnant. And then you have girls out here willy-nilly getting pregnant with dudes they know are dope boys. They know are F boys. That's the reason they got with him, because he's so hard. And the
ones can get pregnant time and time again.
And they sure can. Them the ones I told them the ones is gonna get pregnant. And the ones they don't have no business being there. But you know, I get what I get, and I figured that.
It's frustrating.
I figured that with Elegance was talking, I already had that idea. This is what was going on with her. That's why I understand.
How old are you, Elegance?
On the whole thing, and I understand that. But everybody that gets pregnant is not because they're not planning right.
That.
But some of them are very young. And like he said,
but it is up to the
very young,
parents.
they've been tricked and naive. They want to believe this fairy tale that had been fed to them for so long.
It's not tricked and naive. It's bad parenting and bad examples.
But you can't.
That's not all that.
What I'm trying to say, it is some young people that get
our community celebrates the dope.
They're not going to do it.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Boy, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah,
Our community glorifies boys and these niggas that make money and that's gonna treat you like trash. And then they're surprised when their little girls come home, pregnant by the local dope boy who ain't a baby.
No,
He had something to do. I need Rock to help me with elegance, man, for real. No.
I'm just saying, everybody's not. It's adults and grown-ups. I don't have any.
Hold on, y'all. Hey,
okay,
hold on.
I apologize.
Hold on. Y'all, we gotta calm down. We gotta calm down. We're getting too emotional on this thing. We have to calm down. We can't get nothing done.
I'm only riled up because I feel like we're making excuses for people who make bad decisions. The cases that y'all are talking about, where it's just a mistake because you're on birth control or it's medically induced or whatever, those cases statistically, Frank, I sent you the statistic if you'd like to put them up on the board. Statistically, I'm talking facts, scientific statistics. Statistically speaking, the women who have abortions are the women I'm talking about. Statistically. I'm talking statistics, numbers, actual factual numbers of the studies that they've done in 2023 and 2024. Most of the girls that are having pregnancies are having these abortions are girls who are getting pregnant and then saying because, the dad is not a good dad, he's this or that, and I'm not going to have the money I'm going to be a single mother, I'm not going to be able to take care of it on my own. You should have thought about that one before you slept with him.
Okay, but see, this is what I want to understand. Okay, so abortion is not free. And they're not cheap. So
some abortions, you can find abortion very cheap at Planned Parenthood. I know because I took a family.
I just looked it up. It was like from anywhere between $400 and $800. So that's not the cheapest thing, especially when somebody's trying to.
Is that the Planned Parenthood choice?
Try to pay rent and lights about to be turned off, and they got other kids that they got to take care of.
But they should have thought about that. They never have sex.
What I'm saying, it's not cheap. So basically, you didn't let me finish. Basically, what I'm saying is the ones who would be having the abortions would be people who could afford to or in a position to where they could have them. And that would put that statistic to be the way it is. But a lot of women, even though they should be trying to consider what the heck they're going to do, they can't afford to have a baby. They couldn't afford to have an abortion in the first place. And they sure can't afford to have no kids. That's just how it go. They can't afford it. But especially a young girl, by the time she done turned around here and done told somebody she ain't had that baby in that closet, it's too late anyway. But it's some people who find themselves in a situation and they don't have no business.
Life do happen.
Yeah, life happens.
It's not all
as a
bad.
young person, they do get pregnant young, and you can't expect a child to make adult decisions. They don't think long term because their frontal lobe has not developed enough to get to that point, and they're going to be parents as little kids.
So
and they don't think about consequences. Some of them do, very little.
But a lot of them don't because look at their mothers. What I'm saying is they don't have the right examples. Their mothers had them at 16.
I can't say that. I'm not going to say that because
a lot of them have.
I've known a lot of parents that were very good parents. They were active in their kids' life, and and it was like maybe some church families or something like that or not. They were very active in it. They don't know. They're not watching their child every time you turn around.
I'm not saying being active. I'm saying
how at school and got pregnant. It don't you're very pregnant when you're young. That's why they try to get you young because that's when you're gonna have the most babies. It don't take much. All they got to do is seem like it just a couple of pumps, you pregnant. That's how. And before she realized that's what's going to happen, she ain't thinking hard.
There's other ones too, Frank. There's like two other ones.
Contraceptive because she's embarrassed or afraid to go ask the parent for to go take her to a doctor or anything like that. She got this boyfriend pressuring her, or what have you. She thinking maybe it won't happen to me. Some of them don't. They just don't think that far ahead as a child. As a grown up,
I understand. I understand the children. I understand that part.
As a grown up, I understand what you're saying, Elegance. I do understand that. But as a child, everybody's not in the same situation. Everybody's not in the same mindset, and everybody's
not
not
all
a lot of these abortions now, though, I understand what you're saying. If they're 17 and under, I understand what you're saying. But again, 9 times out of 10, and I'll look up the statistics on that. Those parents who had those kids are probably had them young as well. So the kids have that example. That is their example.
It's not true, 'cause my sister was 16 and my mom was grown, married. She was a virgin. She got married.
What I'm saying is, if you look at statistics,
popping them babies out. That's not true.
I'm not talking about your immediate circle, because that's just a small test group. What I'm talking about is statistics on a global level. So maybe in your test group, in your area, maybe the few people that you know, but I'm talking about on a global level, or at least a national level. If we look at those statistics, statistically speaking, most of the parents had their kid. My mother and my sister had children at the same age. I'm the one who I broke our generational curse. Every woman in our family has had children at young ages, including my niece, who had some issues when she was around that same age. So I'm just saying it's different for each, but I'm talking about on a global level. Most people in our age groups and our parents had their kids young, and that's what they're looking at. But I will say this: I'm also against abortion because I'm also against giving women the just freedom to just do whatever they want with abortion, only because 9 times out of 10, the women who end up with all these, like, if we, okay, let me watch how to phrase this, because I don't want to offend anybody. A couple of the women that we saw, most of the women that we saw on that video, the older women, I'm talking about the grown and can make a decision women, not 16, 17. They were laughing and smiling as if it's a joke, like they're supposed to get a grace if you do without a condom, and then saying they already have children. Most of those women end up on child support or on government aid or on food stamps or on TANF or on. So if we take away abortion, now you can't run and just go get rid of the baby, because now you're going to have to start thinking before you open your legs, because a lot of women are not thinking.
They just gonna get more food stamps. What's going to happen? They're going to have more babies. The government going to have to. The government's going to have to. So I'm not trying to be funny, but this is it. We're human beings. People are going to have sex, period. You're not going to make the best decision most of the time.
We shouldn't have welfare. My tax dollars shouldn't have to pay for if girls.
In the best society, I'm a Christian. I'm raised a certain way. I know how it's taught and everything else. But in the world for real, what's happening? That's not how things go.
Because that's not how things go doesn't mean that we have to.
I'm not advocating for this. This is the difference. I'm not advocating for abortion. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying everybody that's getting pregnant is not because running around here they making poor choices.
I don't think it's everybody, but I do think statistically, I don't think it's everybody, but I can say statistically it's more than it should be. And then I don't want to have to use my tax dollars to help pay for government aid and welfare for people that didn't want to think about me.
So they should.
Okay, hold on. Y'all got my.
Make better choices. I'm just saying, like, I don't understand why it is when people like me say that people should wait. Hold on, because this is for real. Like, I don't understand why it is we live in a society when people like me stand up and say, let's hold people accountable for the bad decisions they're making, we get jumped on like we're being mean or evil. No, be held accountable. You opened your legs, you had them kids, you pay for them.
Elegance. I feel that this is a big subject for you, or some type of trauma that you done dealt with.
It's not trauma. It's the fact that people aren't being heard when you talk. It's really not trauma.
I can hear it when you talk.
It's really not trauma, Frank. I promise you. It's the fact that a lot of times we do things and don't hold people accountable. You got people.
Okay. maybe you hadn't accepted it, you know.
No, I really, it's Frank, I promise you're not, listen, please don't do that, because you're not a psychiatrist. You're not licensed to label anything on anybody, okay?
Right,
I'm telling you straightforward, there is no trauma. The trauma that I have is that enough of us have not been held accountable, and then we get mad and want to condemn other Black people like myself who say let's hold them accountable. Yes, life happens, but life doesn't have to happen if you make smarter choices.
Now hold on. Let me say this to Elegance, then we're gonna go to the next person. Who I'll let Regina talk, then we'll end up with Ivan, so Ivan can get what he got to say off his chest, and Regina can finish and say, I know, but Elegance, you gotta understand that all three of us see that this is real deep for you. We're not blaming you for what you're saying, and we understand your solution.
I care about the subject. It's not deep because I have any trauma behind it. I care about the subject. I'm passionate about a lot of things, Frank. You know that. Me and you have had lots of conversations. So what I'm saying is, don't get on camera and try to act like I'm just traumatized. I'm very passionate about a lot of things. Me and you have had conversations like this about relationships. I'm not traumatized behind it. I just don't like that our community is one of the biggest communities that don't want to be held accountable. And when we stand up and say, when you have somebody that stands up and says, hold people accountable, then you got people jumping on us like we're wrong and we're traumatized and we're like, we're saying something wrong. No, start holding our children accountable. These parents need to start having better sex conversations. Growing up, I had no conversations about sex. We're not talking to our children about protection. We're not talking in Black homes. How often how many Black parents do you know at an early age, 10, 11, 12, before they start having sex, sit them down and actually have a real sex conversation? Not just you better wrap up. Don't get pregnant young. I'm going to beat you. No, we don't have real conversations with our children. And then you're like, oops, life happens. No, we got to tighten up, people.
Elegance. Maybe that was in your hat. Maybe that's the way you see things. But we got three other people here.
Frank, I sent you other statistics. Okay. You're not putting up what I sent you. It's other statistics that back what I'm saying.
I dig it. We're gonna get the statistics up. But what I'm saying, that's at the end of the show, I like to give a solution, right? You have gave us solutions.
The solution is hold people accountable and stop just saying life happens. Start holding people accountable. Okay. Parents need to have better sex talks with their children, and children need to make better decisions. What are you talking about? That's the answer. Is
but what I'm saying, some parents do that. Exactly what you're saying, and it still go bad. Okay? Things like you say, things happen.
I understand that, but we would have less of a chance the more people that do it, it lessens the chance of it happening. We would still have it, but it would be, statistically speaking, the numbers would go down. The statistics on that are too high right now. We need that number to go down. It's affecting our communities.
Okay, check this out. What you saying, we're not arguing with. But you're not hearing what we saying. If you listen to a few of these people talk, you can kind of understand their side of the spectrum. I'm trying to get both sides of the spectrum. Yes, we have problems. We having problems. So that's what this show's about, to let people see both sides. Several things is going on here that apparently you're not paying attention to. You just blaming. Seem like you blaming the people for doing their best with what they got. You know, we parents. I'm a parent. Okay, I have children.
I would have been a parent. Unfortunately, I had a miscarriage, but thank you. I would have been a parent.
That's what I'm saying.
And I had grandkids, so I have a nonprofit where I take care of children all over the world. So I have children.
Right, but check this out. We are parents. That's what you're not.
And I'm a parent to children that aren't even mine. So I do understand. I'm a parent to children that aren't even mine. So I do understand.
Okay, so what I'm saying is all of us are not just having kids just to put out be another statistic.
I'm just going off of the statistics, Frank, is what I'm telling you, and you're not putting them up. So it seems like I'm just saying whatever But I've actually researched this. This is not just my thought. I've actually researched the numbers.
Right. I was trying to put up your statistics, but the deal kept spinning off like I was about to go off.
Don't worry about it. I mean, y'all can fact check it. It doesn't have to go up. I've researched it before we got on here tonight. And I'm talking about the numbers that are out there from 2023 and 2024. I'm not talking about our local community.
Okay, so what's the statistics about? What is it saying?
The statistics show that the number, the age group.
In 2023, it was over 1 million of abortions.
That wasn't the only one. That's what I'm saying. That's the only one he put up, but that wasn't the only thing that I was trying to put. So that was
go ahead.
So the first statistic, you're right, was that there was over 1.3 million abortions in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then it broke it down into age group, who was having these abortions and what they were for. Medically, let me read it from my phone because I can pull it up on my phone, and that way I can at least read them to you, so y'all don't think I'm just going off of passion or trauma. I'm going off of statistics.
No.
So in 2023, there was 1,037,000 abortions. Out of those abortions, abnormalities, having an abortion because the child had some sort of abnormality, only made up 1%. The risk to the woman's life only made up 0.3% of that 1 million. The other physical and health concerns only made up 2.2%. Rape and incest only made up 0.4%. And all the rest, 95.9% of those 1,037,000 abortions, 95.9% of those were elected for unspecific reasons, just because the woman wanted to have it. It didn't have to do with incest. It didn't have to do with sexual assault. It didn't have to do with any So that's the next.
Okay, I'm not being funny, but what do they categorize as sexual assault? I'm not trying to be funny because
they're talking about incest, rape of any sort.
But it is a such thing as a date rape. It's a such thing as a whole bunch.
They're including.
But that don't mean when they went in there to have this. Because some women haven't even told what I'm saying. Some women have never said that this is what happened to them. They're embarrassed. They put themselves in this situation, and they get pregnant. They go.
I mean, that's a major factor in what you're saying.
I understand that.
Go and have it. Who is going to sit up? They're going to say, "Well, why are you having this abortion?" And I'm not sure because I don't know what questions is being asked. Are they asking them what?
So then it's not fair to ask me that. So I don't know either. So it's not fair to ask me. But I will go a little bit further. But let's. But let's go.
It's going in there and just saying, "I just want it." Does that not mean that it's nothing? It's not a story,
right? Right. So no. Okay. So let's say those numbers were up a little bit. That still brings it down to what, 90%? Because I mean, if you look at the statistics, and then on top of that, the age groups that we're having too, 57% of those 1 million were in their 20s. Only 8% were in the age group that you were talking about, in the 13 to 19. Only 8% of those were 13 to 19, and only 4% were in my age group or in your age group, 40 years old and older. So we're looking at girls that are between 20s and 30s, make up 57%, almost 60% of 1 million babies aborted. These are bad decisions being made. These are bad.
I got a question. Give me 1 second. I got a question. Where did you get the source from?
Several sources. So this one was from, according to the CDC. These are CDC numbers. These aren't. I always make sure that I get reputable, but across the board, several of the different sites that I was going to use, they all said about the same numbers. They were only off by 0.3, 0.4% across the board. But I chose to go with the CDC.
All right, I just wanted to make sure that you let people know where you got your source.
Yes, I got these off. These are according to CDC numbers.
Okay, so 2023, I'm not trying to be funny, but that was a lot of women flocking to about a couple of places that still was allowing abortions. That was a lot of women.
It's a lot. And what I'm saying is I'm so passionate because we're kind of dropping the ball when we say, You know, when we look at these statistics and we look at the age group that's having them, then I can just by looking at the age group tell you that 9 times, yes, date rape happens. Yes, things happen. But a lot of these, because of the age group, we already know how young and dumb we were at that age. So I'm telling you, a lot of this has to do with not being taught and talked to about sex and their sexual choices and what they're doing. We're just letting this generation just kind of
okay. I got a question. I got a question. Are these all black people? Or are these white people? Or this a mixed group of women?
This was mixed. This was a mixed one. I couldn't find statistics that
it looks like it's everybody.
That's what I just said. It is everybody because I couldn't find. So if you guys can find one, please let me know. But I did.
So they were saying, okay, so
can you find one that's just for African American?
Well,
yeah,
it says 61% was in their 20s. Black or Latino were 59% of that in that.
So then this would actually account. So then mine is probably
72% would be low income. So black women is not really okay. So if you adding Latinos in there with that,
right?
They already said.
You add Latinos in there, we're not having it as high as numbers as some of these other people.
Alvin, we're gonna get to you. Soon as I
we have been talking a lot. We can let Alvin go. We can let Alvin go because we have been talking over him for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let Alvin go. Go ahead, Alvin.
I just want to say to elegance. I'm certain that the majority are irresponsible decisions. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. You know what I mean? And I respect your passion, and I hear concern as well. Not trauma, but I understand. You know, for you to expound on why. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. But me speaking on my situation, I did not want another child growing up in a divided household because she did not want a family. I wanted a family.
Was there an option for you to take custody of the child? Was that ever discussed?
That's not an option simply because of my reality. I work jobs that are way of life. I can't do that and make a living.
You didn't want it. Okay. All right. Okay. Listen, I don't mean to laugh at you, but I'm saying, you know, if you're not going to give like a solution, you know, other than abortion, you didn't give her any option. We agree. So earlier in the conversation, all the men were always like, okay, both people should talk about it, right? Y'all should come to some sort of agreement. So you wanted her to have an abortion. She didn't want to have an abortion. So because she didn't want to have an abortion, you just was like, well, I mean, you could have offered to take the child, right? I mean, if you really cared about.
And how am I going to make a living with an infant?
The same way a single mother does. You make it work. The same way a single mother does. You make it work.
I tell you what, a single mother can get government assistance. I can't.
So can a single man. So can a single man.
They get.
Can a single man?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if government assistance will be enough to support my obligations.
It's not enough for a woman to have that baby either.
This is what I'm talking about, yo.
Man, no.
This one I'm talking about because you put these women in these situations.
I gotta get some water. Hold on, y'all.
Love you, and I'm gonna take care of you, and I'm gonna do this and this and that, and then she end up pregnant, and then you sit up there and say, well, I want to have a family, but I'm not gonna be the one who's gonna take care of the baby. Okay, what's she gonna do? She barely can put a roof over her own head, and she got to take care of this child. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. It's bad planning. It's bad.
And it's not. That is not so practical like it sounds, and it surely wasn't me.
How long were y'all together?
And this is the position that men put some women in. They won't have we're not talking about just some old hookup here and there, you know, and all this other stuff. We're talking about people who actually have had relationships or what have you. They in some kind of steady relationship. Somebody end up pregnant, but then one person
the woman ended up pregnant
to do something, but to take on the responsibility. But it's the woman's fault for getting pregnant. Seemed like it was both of y'all fault.
I agree. I mean, it takes two people to have a baby, and it takes.
I mean, of course.
How? But my thing is, I guess my question. I'm sorry, Regina, and I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you out. My question is, how long are we talking like that? You're with this person that you think you know them good enough to have a baby.
Like I said, we met in 2010 and kicked it for like a year and a half. Things broke off, and here 10 years later, we a little over 10 years later, we reconnect. But me being comfortable, I mean, like I said, it's not so practical like it sounds. Hell, she had been told by doctors all her adult life, and she was married for 9.5 years, and her husband could not procreate. She went on to adopt a little boy as an infant.
I got you.
She adopted a little
situation.
boy.
I can see how
I get it too.
that
Yeah.
happened. How that would happen with you. But see, you know, you can't go by. Okay, then I'm also you can't go by saying that you in some kind of some people get in this certain situation.
No.
I'm down to men, and don't get me wrong. But then here it is, even in with white couples. That's why we always have it when women are pregnant. They're in such danger of having somebody do harm to them because the men were not open enough or honest enough with them to say they didn't want to have this children. So that's why you will see Becky on a doggone poster and her husband looking for her, knowing he over there and chopped her up and threw her off in the lake because he don't want to have no babies. So
what?
No.
Regina,
I'm telling you, we have story after story.
Hold on, y'all let him talk. Let him talk. Y'all let him
Don't
talk.
exaggerate my situation like
No.
that.
I wasn't talking
She
about
ain't saying yours. She's not saying your situation.
No, I know your situation. I know what you were saying, and I can understand how you ended up, how y'all got there. Because somebody told me I couldn't have no babies, and it was a medical doctor. I'm gonna think I can't have none either.
Ooh, Lord.
I mean,
Okay, hold on, y'all. Let Alvin get to the point.
I mean, what you say, Frank?
I said, go ahead and finish what you was talking about. So
He was telling us to hush so you could talk. He was telling us to be quiet so you could talk.
No. I mean, don't exaggerate my situation. I mean, like I said, I mean, hell, I mean, if you were a man in that situation, would you be concerned about getting a 43-year-old woman pregnant after she'd been married for 9.5 years?
No, I wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. I don't blame you. I don't blame your situation at all because for somebody say, okay, you medically cannot have a child. That's almost like you went in there and got you a vasectomy. You think you can't have no kids. You out there just having you a grand old good time. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not supposed to be able to have no kids. Oh, here come a baby. Well, I mean, what you supposed to do? I mean, how more responsible can you be?
Right.
I mean, why would you go and get birth control when the doctor told you cannot have children?
Right. But let's not forget that some people make that up too, though. I mean, did she show you?
And they do. And I know.
Well, what was convincing? Let's not forget what was convincing was
you messy, elegance, you messy.
What's up?
I told her she was messy.
I'm messy. I'm being messy. I'm being for real. And some girls lie about that.
Well, I know that happens, but I mean, what was convincing was she was married for 9.5 years. When we first met and we broke it off. I remember her adopting the little boy she has now because she was told she always wanted a son.
Okay.
So you know, I get her pregnant with one scar too, like I said, and. While I was
but y'all don't. But okay, and I don't mean to cut you off, but that's very important. Like we keep glossing over that point right there, and that's the thing. Like I'm a Christian before anything else, and I do believe that God doesn't do anything by chance. He's a master chess player, and he moves those pieces. And you, like you said, she couldn't get pregnant for 9 years, and all of a sudden, with a scarred tube, you come, and now she's pregnant. Y'all don't think that was divine intervention? You don't think that God planned for that child to be here? You don't think that was, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just think that was just by chance?
For me, it's hard for me to look at it from that perspective because it's a divided household. If God did that, why didn't He go on to
Well,
make sure?
the enemy divides households, not God.
Hey, look.
So
No,
God
no,
was
no.
trying to bring
We are
the
two.
household together.
We are two grown people. She made that choice on her own. So no, I'm not gonna blame old Satan. He already get blamed for too much. But I'm being facetious. But and that's what it was for me. While I was begging
But
for
maybe the
divorce.
test was in it for you guys to see if you could make the household one. You know what I mean? Like there's a test in everything you do. Everything's not easy, and raising a child
Every
together
household ain't
is
meant
not
to be
easy.
one. I'm not trying
Right.
to.
I mean, you could co-parent respectively without having to be in the same.
And I'm with, but
Yeah.
everything shouldn't just because you.
Just because it's not. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying, Regina?
I'm saying, I'm one of the people that's a firm believer because, I didn't have my mom and dad didn't have the best marriage at all. It was terrible. I mean, at some point, I really feel like my mom should have got up and left long time ago. But because she has such deep Christian beliefs, nobody in her family ever got divorced or anything like that. My grandparents got divorced way later. I mean, after my mom had dealt with all this for so long, I think they was running around her almost having, breaking up around the same time. So she didn't know anybody that got divorced. So she felt like she had to stay in those situations.
That happened a lot.
And I feel like sometimes you shouldn't stay in a situation just because, we're trying to make a home for your kids, and then home.
Sometimes that makes it worse.
It's for hell going on up in here.
Sometimes that's worse.
You scoring these children way worse than what need to be.
And just being in separate
houses. Want the outside to be looking at y'all like y'all some picture perfect family.
Right.
And that's not fair as well.
But see, that's the point that I'm making, Regina, about the abortion too, because I agree with you 100%. What I hear in what I was hearing when he first was saying this, like I get his situation, but I guess my thing was just because it wasn't ideal, like the ideal picture perfect thing for the parents, that's why you had the abortion, and that's just not fair to me.
No, like I said, I'm in agreement. I think it shouldn't be all willy-nilly, but I feel like they shouldn't just say no abortion. And part of it, I feel like that they're hiding a whole lot of stuff with this abortion stuff anyway. They saying nobody's to have abortions only because, first of all, they're trying to get the Caucasian numbers back up to where it's supposed
because abortion backfired on them too, because there's more white girls.
So they need the numbers to be, a certain way, because they need that percentage to go on up, and it's not happening,
right, because statistically they're turning into the minority.
Hold on. Alvin, can you say that again?
I hear that 60% of abortions are white women.
Is that? I mean, we didn't just read that on the statistics, though. I mean, like, is that something we can back up with facts, though?
39% off of it for Black women.
That's what I heard, but
can somebody look that up right quick?
I'm not gonna say it's 60%, but I know 39 is supposed to be Black women, but then they also lump Hispanic women in there with the Black women. So.
Right.
So mathematically speaking, it adds up to
find it on the CDC like I did before. Hold on, let me see if I can find it on. Let's see.
I think he's right.
Yeah, and it makes sense because, like I said, what makes sense is that those women will have the opportunity to get up, go have an abortion, like they finna go to Las Vegas for a couple of days, go fly somewhere where they got this anonymity, and go over there and go have them abortions and come on back without nobody knowing this is what's happening to them. So I can see that happening. Whereas $400, $800 is not cheap. Not especially when you 20 something and you struggle. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the money, and then by the time you do come up with the money, it's off the table anyway.
So this is what I found to break it down, even breaking it down further without lumping Black women and Hispanic together. And this is for 2021, so it's a little outdated. But in 2021, non-Hispanic but white, so white women accounted for 30.2% of abortions. Non-Hispanic Black women, so just Black women by themselves, accounted for 41.5%, and Hispanic women accounted for 21.8%, and other races were 6.5%. So I'm seeing that white women only made up 30.2%.
It's higher than that.
It was about a year ago. It was about a year ago. I heard.
Maybe, and that's why I said this one that I found is a little outdated. This one was from 2021, but that's what I could find.
Years ago, yeah.
Because see, it's gotta. The only reason I'm saying it's higher because it's more of them than us, and they try to raise our numbers up. They try to raise our number up by mixing other folks in with us.
And they do that because they did it when I worked at the sheriff department. They've been doing this for years. I worked at the sheriff department from 88 to 92.
We live in a world of anti-Black media. Yes,
yeah, I had to do the jail census for Dallas County, so I know they had to call it in. And when I worked there,
they have Hispanics
for the whole jail. It was you was either N or you was a W. Don't ask me what they stand for. You have to figure it out. So it wasn't no Hispanics, it wasn't no Asians, it wasn't no nothing. It was Black. I mean, it was N or W. Okay, that's exactly what it was. So, of course, everybody looked like us. N. Everybody else, W, and we outnumbered. We were like 70 to 30%, with everybody else being all together, and we on the other Democrat. So they do that. They like to lump it in with certain things so it can make it seem like it ain't that bad. But in reality, that's just how it is. So they've been doing it. They've been adding folks in there just so it can make it seem like, oh, well, they, we the ones that's doing whatever. They probably adding some folks up in there. They've been doing to make us look worse than what we really are.
Hey, we live in a world of anti-Black media. We do. That we do.
So I believe that they done added some folks in there. It's more white people running around here. It's more white people that have more of the look than Black folks.
That's
so
right.
They have the money.
You can get the almanac. You can get the almanac and get the truth on that. You know what I mean? Them accounting for the highest and damn near everything bad. But yeah, like I was saying, I understand how you feel, but we, it's how I
go ahead.
I was just saying, just how I look at it. Like I said, I got 4 kids. All four of them are in a divided household. That I ain't want that.
Okay, but the solution to that is not abortion; it's to fix our households.
You
to fix our relationships with each other.
We are talking. Hey, look, you talking about a relationship. People can tell you what you want to hear all day long, and their actions portray a different outcome. You can't make
till death do us part is a vow in sickness and health, good times and in bad. No matter what happens.
In an ideal world, have you ever been?
No, not ideal.
I have, and I ain't now.
Hey, look.
How about that? And I wasn't paying no attention to that.
In an ideal world, that I wish.
People aren't willing to stick it out. People aren't willing to stick it out.
Because who wants to get married and get divorced? Nobody. No, that's not true. People are willing to stick it out, but sometimes you have to look at things for what it is and stop fantasizing and saying. You have to look at things as realistic. Some people change on you. Now, I'm not trying to be funny, but they do, or they projected themselves to be something. Which you lived in the house with them, you realize that now you got children or what have you, that you have to decide if your children is going to grow up in a household that's trying to have all kinds of things
toxic and dysfunctional.
I just think
to raise those kids in separate households, because if you have a certain value, your husband don't, or you have a certain value and your wife don't.
Understand.
Sometimes you got to make those decisions.
Would y'all be opposed if I said something like, I think we should be teaching children to date somebody at least 5 years before they marry them? I think that should be something taught to children. My stepdad and my mom, they have a wonderful relationship, and he was the father figure in my life for a lot of times. But I didn't think they were actually going to get married. I was actually mad at him because I thought he was dragging his feet. But they dated for 5.5 years before he ever asked her to marry them, because they really wanted to make sure that they got down to the crux of it. Because like you said, when you meet somebody, you're just meeting their representative for mostly like the first year or two, right? So you got to date them past that just to see when the wall fall down who they really are. You got to see them in every type of situation, mad, happy, sad. So I mean, do you think that we should be teaching this next generation that it's better to date someone? Don't live with them. Don't play house. We're not playing house. Live in your place, he live in his place, and y'all date for at least 3 to 5 years before you marry someone, so that you make sure.
Again, also, why you have kids with them? Don't be having no babies in them.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Or have children with them.
I want to say I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. I just look at things that are a greater influence than what you're teaching your kids. I'm not opposed to it now.
Well, I'm saying collectively, I get what you're saying, but if we did that collectively as a community, and that's what we started to show, because
we have to go about things differently for male and female. I'm gonna say this.
Not necessarily.
Hold on, no. I'm gonna say this, and don't go off the deep end on me. When I say this name, don't go off the deep end. Kevin Samuels broke down a cycle that I really like, and if you read the Bible, it's in the Bible. It's a cycle. Young women need to get married at an early age. Young men need to spend their time from 18 to 35 establishing themselves to be ready to
Where is that in the Bible? Can I have a verse?
No,
Hold on.
I said it's an
Can you let him finish?
It's an illustration of the cycle. I ain't said it says that word for word, but it's an illustration in the Bible, because when you read about relationships, it typically depicts the man being older and a woman being younger. Am I right or wrong?
Right, but one of the first things we read about is that Matthew? I have to look at what verse that is, but that's Peter says it, but he says, it's better to not marry, and if your virgins are not married, it's better to leave them unmarried than to allow them to marry. So he was actually warning the fathers that it's better to tell your daughters not to marry and just leave them how they are. But that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm just saying that's not really biblically speaking, it doesn't. That's just how it was back then. But
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let him finish with what he was saying. He got to the woman.
We in my opinion, I think we need to deal with it on a gender basis, because we live in a grimy, complex system. It's grimy and it's complex. This is not the biblical days. This system we live in is grimy and it's complex, and money is the number one issue. Money typically is the number one issue.
Because we don't pull our resources, though. We're the only culture that won't do that.
I got that.
Let him get through. Let him get through.
In my opinion, I think our young men need to be taught from 18 to 35 to establish themselves. Establish yourself. You need to be focused on getting some credentials and some training, so when you become a family man, you'll be able to provide.
I disagree.
Hold on, Elegance. Let him finish, and then we're gonna come to you. You can, like you tell me, get a pen and write it down, Frank.
Now,
so
when
please,
I say
let him finish.
Talk to just be focused on establishing themselves. I'm not saying during that time frame wilding out, having sex, and just having fun. I'm not condoning that. But that's what they need to be doing, in my opinion. Young women, I think young women need to be married off at an early age to older men who are established. And I say that because what's the cycle? What happens? What happens? They live in their best life. They get in a high body count. They end up procreating outside of marriage. And by the time they get the mind frame for marriage, they don't have the dating value anymore, because we don't live in times where men are marrying women with 3, 4, and 5 kids anymore. People are thinking differently now.
You know who is successfully doing that? And I can say this with confidence because of the church that I go to. My church is mostly white, right? And
man.
And let me tell you something. You know who is, and I watch. Well, let me tell you what I do before you laugh. We could actually take a lot of their things and put that into, if we were to watch and see how they doing it and put that into what we're doing, we could actually make our community work. And that's what I do. So let me tell you something. What I watch, and I literally see this, are kids between the age of 19 and 24 being married, successful. By the time dude 24, 25, he done graduated college, he working at Google. Everybody done pitched together to help them. They get married. Everybody pools together if they don't have enough money for the wedding and the wedding dress. Everybody pools together if they need their first house for the down payment. Everybody pools together. It's not that they got rich parents. They mom and dad. Now I know they mom and dad. They mom not rich, but they pooled together. Amy asked Patricia, and Patricia asked Tom, and Tom asked, oh, they getting married. Okay, let's pull it. So what we're missing, what we're lacking in our community is, number one, pooling together and actually coming together and
collectively. I agree with you.
And helping that to happen. Because if you look at, if I was on the outside, if I wasn't Black and I was just on the outside looking in at just our TV shows, our music, and what our culture, what our culture as a culture, what we are magnifying is this hot girl life, this city girl life, this dope boy mentality, this twerk, and just get him to pay my rent and get my nails done. And girl, he got my.
I want to say something in what you're saying.
Promoting.
I want to say something in what you're saying.
That's somebody else promoting.
We're buying into it. So whether they started it or not, we're choosing to buy into it. The white community shut that shit down. Hold on, wait, because I want to address that. You're absolutely right. It's not necessarily us that's promoting it, but if you notice, when Eminem and them start coming into the white neighborhood, they shut that crap down. They will get that out. They don't play that. We don't do that for our community. We don't take that for our community like that. They shut that down. They say we don't like this white man. They took Eminem to court. They took Eminem to court. The white community took Eminem to court and was about to sue this man because his music was making.
They can do that though, because when Negroes try to do that, our leaders come up killed. Who pulled the strings? That's why I said I mentioned who pulled the strings. Them fake Jews. I got that. Imagery is very powerful. I tell folks, because if you pay attention to the stuff that entertain our young folks, it promote being single, status quo success, driving fancy cars, living your best life, socializing. You know what I mean? It's totally anti-family, and for our young women, it's anti-man. I totally agree with you, but I disagree with who you are using as an example. White folks are not the standard or an example, because white folks got a handout. White folks got a whole system. They got a whole system. White folks don't work hard. They don't work harder than us. They don't work harder than us. They don't have together more than us. The system is not on white folks' back like it's on us. So no, they are not.
That's right.
Really,
right.
They are not nobody to really look at and use as a standard.
What I'm saying by looking at them, I'm saying the outline of how they are instilling these things into their children. I'm not just talking about they skin. I'm talking about, I'm actually breaking.
They got the complexion for protection.
What I'm saying is we can't. So you have to be willing to learn from your enemy. Have you ever read the 48 Laws of Power?
Right. No,
you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to learn from someone that you consider. And so you consider white people the enemy. You have to still be willing to learn. When you play football or any sport, the good teams, they will sit down and watch how the other teams that have been whooping their butt play, so they can figure out what plays they doing and how can we counter that. So what I'm saying is, what I've been doing is I've been sitting back saying, how can we implement some of the things that I've seen that I admire about the people I admire them. I don't break us down white and black because of how I've been embraced. I'm just telling you how I've been embraced. So I don't experience any of that.
But as a collective and understanding who pull the strings, It's race and everything.
I understand that,
I'm
but
not
I'm
trying
just
to make
saying,
it.
if we were to take the outline of how they're teaching
I
this to
agree
their
with you.
children, and
Hold
we
on, hold on, y'all. Hold
That's
on,
something
hold on,
Kevin
hold on.
Samuels brought up. That's something he brought up. He talked about how young
right.
white girls.
I don't hate
were,
Kevin Samuels.
were
I mean, I don't know why.
graduating.
I mean, he has his opinions that I agree with and that I don't agree
Hold
with.
on, hold on.
The man
All right,
was
y'all.
about the nuclear family. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
he did use. He did talk about that. You know, when white girls are graduating college, they are getting married. I understand quite well what you're saying, because imagery, you know, people don't perish for faith. They perish for lack of knowledge.
Right.
The lack of not knowing what's going on,
But hold on.
how to move, how to groove, you know what I mean? All that jazz. And I totally agree with
Okay.
you. I got what you're saying. I just went deeper with that. I
Yeah,
got what you're
yeah.
saying.
And I get what
Yeah.
you're saying as well, but I'm just saying, surface wise, I'm looking at their playbook saying, man, why can't we? I wish we could implement that, because I'm seeing these. By the time
you know the
Hold
biggest.
on, y'all. Hold on.
Let me say this though. The biggest factor with them and why they're able to do that, white folks have a code. And I'm gonna tell you why they have a code. They have a code because they have a community. And when I say community, I'm not talking about a collective. I'm talking about a place where they live. Everybody they go through look like them. Everybody they live around and they work for look like them. They socialize with, they spend money with them. So they think like that. You don't have to teach people to think like that who live in the world, and everybody they deal with look like them. Them
right.
civil
And
rights,
so with
them
black
civil rights Negroes were the most ignorant generation of folks that ever lived for us. They are the reason why we're here today. You may disagree, but if you study that, just study it. That civil rights movement blew our brains out. It blew our brains out. And we really lost our. It was one time before the civil rights movement, the black church was in the pro-black fight. The black church was, and that civil rights movement done messed us up just that bad. And when you get on these issues, we can't even agree with the fight because we got too many different perspectives because we don't have a code. We want to be inclusive with everybody. While
No, it's
everybody
because
else,
we're waiting for somebody to lead instead of just, again, standing up for ourselves. Black people need a leader, and that's sad too. We waiting for somebody else to
we don't.
tell us what to do.
Hold on. We don't need a leader. All our leaders been dead.
She's saying that our people are looking for a leader, and she's right. She's not lying.
That's right. But this is what I'm saying. We don't need a leader.
No, we don't. But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But not enough of us know that. Not enough of us realize that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what's so sad?
Hold on. Let me say this, y'all. Y'all just.
Oh,
keep
go ahead.
going.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank,
y'all
we might turn your camera on,
look,
bro.
Right. It's too many of us saying things the way y'all saying it. All right. Elegance is going to a church of white people that embrace her. Right? You dig it? She's confused by this white supremacy thing.
Oh, whoa. Well, so what I won't allow you to do is project it on me. I'm not confused about anything, sir. Because I'll tell you.
No, I'm not. Look, I'm not going. Hold on. Let me finish.
No. Because we're going to keep it respectful. No, because it's going to turn into something else if you don't keep it respectful. And so what I won't let you do, I won't let you insult my intelligence, because before this, I was a part of a different church that was all black, and I was never accepted by my own people. So I went out, and this is where I was led. So it just happens that this was an all-white church that embraced me better than my own people, who I was a part of the church for almost 20-something years. So
I tell you what, though.
Don't do that.
Do you talk radical with them?
Oh, yes. We talk about a lot of things. Yes.
And when you talk radical, what exactly are you saying? Because I ain't trying to be funny. I could not in no way fellowship with a Caucasian church, because it's something I've realized.
And that's your prerogative.
Yeah, it's something I've realized. Them people, we are the only people overly emotional by the name. Them people not overly emotional by the name. Them people in their minds, they believe their God look like them. Them people would not even. Them people won't even acknowledge.
And let me tell you And you're right. And let me tell you what some people, that's what some people, you can't say them people, just like they can't say them people to us. It's rude to say them people back because you can't classify a whole group of people just off of some people that you know.
But guess what though? Where are they at? Where are they at in the real fight for us? You don't hear white folks talking about reparations.
Let me tell you, just like you don't hear black people fighting for Mexicans and Mexicans ain't fighting for black people because we all fight for our own. So we all do that. We're not finna jump in the fight for Mexicans and Mexicans.
Hold on.
We all do that. I will say this. Going back to that because I'm glad you brought that up. Any person, I'm going to say this because I want to clarify this. Any person, white, black, or other, that tells me that the God that they worship is a color, whether you black or white, I'm gonna tell you you're ignorant and don't talk to me about Christ.
Do not the Bible depict him as
my God, listen to me. My God is beyond any box that you can put him in. When you translate, when you actually hold on, wait, because now hold on. Now, when we were cutting you off, now he was telling you else to be quiet when we were cutting you off, and he's not doing that for me. So I'm gonna ask you to let me finish. So this is what I will say. I'm not done. Hold on. Let me finish my complete thought, please. I will say this.
I was saying, go ahead and talk.
Yes, the Bible says, yes, and yes, the Bible does actually, and that me and Frank talked about this too, because he was trying to say that the Bible was made by white supremacists. And I said, well, that can't be true because they actually depicted Jesus the right way in the Bible. They said he has woolly hair and skin of brass. Skin of brass is brown. I do believe that he was brown. I'm not going to say that he was a Rastafarian or that he's the dreadhead Christ that I see in the picture either. My God is not in a box. If you translate, when you translate, and you can Google this, you can fact check me. When you translate the real name of Jesus, it translates to Yahweh. There are no vowels in Yahweh. It's only constant. YHWH. When you pronounce that, my God is the breath that you breathe, honey. When you pronounce Yahweh the correct way that it's supposed to be, it sounds like a breath. It sounds like that is God to me. My creator has no gender, he has no color, and I don't
he has a gender because he's always been described as what?
Just because we describe, because mankind, because mankind put him as a man. Mankind said because we relate to that.
God is a man.
Hold on, y'all.
God is spirit before anything else.
No, God
is spirit before anything else. God became man so that we could recognize.
Hold on. Let me explain it.
Let
me explain this. Let me explain this. You got the Trinity. You got God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
So a male spirit made a baby with itself. So the universe is not feminine energy.
Can I talk?
Elegant.
The universe is not feminine energy.
Elegant.
Can I talk?
Elegant.
Okay.
Let him finish.
The God in the Bible. People don't understand God the Father. That is a man. He's a person. If you can cut him, he'll bleed. He's flesh and blood, but he's not corruptible. He's not earthly flesh and blood. How he's everywhere at one time, he duplicates himself. That's how he's able to do that. Where Christ come from, one time Christ wasn't Christ. He became Christ for a specific role. God took his mind, he took his personality, he took his moral code and made Christ.
He made a man, but that does not make the creator a man.
And the word was God because
he was
inside.
Right. He was a word. So is a word. Wait, hold on. Wait. Can I ask a question?
Man is before woman because he created man first.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question though?
Right.
You just said though. You said the word is a word male or female. I'm asking a question based on what he just said.
I know.
You making it weird. I'm asking a question about what he said.
Y'all having an intellectual conversation. Let her have the stage, Frank. Be cool. It's good, man.
I'm asking a question on what he said. I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is that I'm asking a question for thought. So you said in the beginning there was the word.
Yes.
And the word was God.
Yes.
And the word was with God. So the word was God. So in the beginning, before there was a man, right? We're talking about the word.
No. Hey, look, the man was God himself. God is a
So,
masculine man.
in the beginning was the word.
Let me. When you read in the Old Testament, when God, let me tell you how God the Father is a physical person. If he's not a physical person, why was he described about 2 or 3 times in the Old Testament as wearing clothes? One prophet said he's seen him in the train of his robe
and could not see his face, that he was shining as a bright light.
But
they've never seen his face. He could be an alien for all we know. They've never seen his face. He's always glowing in a bright light.
Another prophet seen him, and he described the belt around his waist, and he described the color of his gown, and then he described the color of his arm. He said his arm was like brass. That's brown.
Right, and that's the only time.
God the Father is a melanated man. That's why when you study mankind,
when they said that bronze,
people.
But you're misquoting. You're misquoting the bronze. The bronze description was to Christ, who God created.
No.
Hold on, wait a minute.
When God the Father was seen in the Old Testament,
I'm about to pull it up for you. So I'm just saying, I'm about to pull it up.
God the Father, Christ wasn't even revealed.
I'm about to pull it up. I don't argue without showing. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, when they
just $1 million question. If God is not a physical person, why do he wear clothes? Somebody got to tell me that. Because he's a physical person. Where his spirit comes into play is his body is sitting on the throne.
In Revelation, so actually it's not.
I didn't say Revelation.
It's not. But I'm telling you what. I'm telling you what the facts. I'm telling you what the facts say. I looked up, but what I'm saying is that verse is not in the Old Testament. You're misquoting.
God the Father has the
You're misquoting, baby.
Let me tell you something. God the Father
but you're misquoting, baby. Wait, hold on, Ivan. Ivan, for real, because we gotta spit facts though.
Right.
Okay, we gotta spit facts though. But we gotta spit facts. Nowhere in the Old.
Look, hold on.
God the Father has the ability.
But you gotta spit
on this throne, and his spirit leaves his body. He had to speak, and his body.
I gotta meet both of y'all for a minute.
Is still conscious.
No, but listen, but if you're gonna be that passionate about something, Frank, we gotta make sure, just like
he's everywhere at one time.
I know, but we're not talking about. Listen, y'all. We're not talking about religion tonight. We're not talking about religion tonight. Okay,
so the Trinity.
We're talking about abortion.
The Trinity are 2 people, but 1 spirit.
Okay,
one
Trinity
spirit.
means 3, though, but Trinity means
3.
But I'm just saying, wait, hold on. If we're gonna get that passionate, at least when I get passionate, I have the facts to back it up. First of all, that verse that you're talking about, nowhere in the I looked it up, I Googled it. My phone won't show. I Googled it. Okay, that verse you're talking about, nowhere in the Old Testament does it mention God's skin tone. I looked it up. You can
Old Testament.
Wait, hold on, because you just had a whole rant for 20 minutes. Hold on, boo. Hold on, boo, because you just talked. I know, but you just talked for like.
How do you think Moses, God covered his?
Okay, what? But you but look, if you're gonna say it,
man, and then in the Old Testament it describes his hair.
But listen, if you're gonna say it, you gotta have. Okay, so take a pause and go ahead and look up that verse, because I want you to back that up, because I'm telling you what I'm looking at. It does not mention that skin of bronze until Revelations 1:14-15 when it talks about his skin. So I'm telling you to please look it up, because if we're gonna get that passionate about things, we got to make sure that we're telling people the right information. Right. And when it describes him having bronze skin, and then I'm gonna let it go because you're right, we're not talking about this, but if we're gonna say it, we got to say it right. When it describes him, they're actually talking about Jesus.
No, in the Old Testament it's not talking about Christ.
Well, wait, I'm talking to wait. But wait, Ivan, I'm talking about the facts that I just found. I'm not talking about what I said. Wait, we can't talk about what you're talking about till you show me the scripture that you're talking about, or at least show me where it's at. What I'm talking about is facts that I just really found. The facts that I found says that it doesn't talk about it until Revelations 1:14-15. And then it says that it's talking about Jesus, not God, that nobody has seen God. They've only seen
nobody
Jesus.
Nobody haven't seen the face of God.
Okay, well, I'm just asking you to back it up. Listen, I'm not going against what you're saying. I'm asking you to back it up.
The Old Testament talk about he passed by Moses.
Okay, y'all. Look,
I promise
come
I'm
on.
not saying that you're wrong, Ivan. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm asking is, please.
Okay, look.
We on the same
Hey,
wavelength. We believe the same thing.
excuse me.
I'm gonna get with you.
Right.
I'm gonna get with
Yeah,
you.
I'm not
Okay.
saying you're
Yeah,
wrong, Ivan.
appreciate
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to see the facts because I want to be able to research what you're saying to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that if we gonna put stuff out there, that we got to be able to back it up so I can go and maybe I didn't know. Maybe I got to go look it up.
It's cool. It's cool.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna get with you on that. I'm gonna get with you on that. But that's why man is before female. Man.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Let us make
Hold
man
on.
in our image, because God is a masculine man, melanated man. But I'm gonna get with you on that though. That's why when you study mankind, everywhere on the earth, it goes back to melanated people. Now notice I've never said black. Now that's a whole nother conversation. I can school you on that too with Esau and Jacob now, and where Caucasians come from, where they come from. You know what I mean? But yeah, I show you that. I get what you.
All right.
Show you that.
All right.
Hey, I'm sorry,
are we
Frank.
all good? Are we all good
But
now?
you need some religion though, Frank. You really do.
No, no, I don't. look at how y'all acting. You think I need religion? Look how y'all acting. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Take my number, and I'm not trying to get at you. You can get it from Frank. You know what I'm saying? But I like to show you what I'm talking about. No. Don't put that. Don't put that out there like that.
Don't put me in that shit.
Yeah.
No, don't. You know.
But
hold on.
Would you like to take my number so we can?
We can do that offline. We can do that offline because we're on the show right now. We do that offline. We'll talk.
Look, y'all done turn.
I promise I'm gonna make sure and get in touch with you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, that's cool. And I'm not trying to holler at you though.
No, I feel you. I don't got no big head like that. I don't think you are. I promise. I don't.
Okay.
Both of y'all equally yoked because y'all into this Bible thing. And
hey man,
that does not make someone equally yoked, Frank. Don't talk. Don't do that.
I believe what I believe because I have.
You see how he do, Regina? Look, I'm messy. You messy. You messy.
They're passionate. They're equally passionate about their opinion. That's exactly what it is. You know, I have my opinions, but
if
you
he can do what I have experienced, then convince me.
I love it. I actually love it because this is, this just shows two passionate people about Christ and about their way of life and about living. So I don't get offended. I may speak passionately, but I'm not upset. I love having good conversations. But that's why I always ask people to please back it up because you might say something that I don't know. And you might say something that I want to go research later and go look up and read about and see and expound my knowledge because that's the only way that we can.
Excuse me. Y'all, this show done went 2.5 hours.
Yep, that's good. That we got material.
That's good.
We don't have
I know.
But Frank, don't post the whole thing because then you just wasted 2 hours on one post. Let us break it up.
Edit your video, Frank.
I already said that. See, we can't just throw out a 2-hour post. We got to break it up. Let me show you how to cut
Frank,
it up,
bro,
and then we can post.
If I ever get a seat, you know what I'm saying? Become chairman or something, I'm gonna fire you, bro. I ain't lying. I'm gonna fire you, man. For real.
Well, look,
I'm gonna fire you.
I'll let y'all.
We gonna fire you, Ivan. You can't be firing him. This is his vision. Look, how you gonna fire this man from his own vision?
Hey, I'm letting him know what I'm gonna do.
You gonna have to go through. I'm gonna take up for my boy Frank. You gonna have to go through me first. I'm gonna have to take up for my boy Frank.
Me and Frank. Good.
I'm not voting. I'm not voting with you. I'm gonna say no. We gonna keep him.
Yeah, you gonna get fired too.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad.
For real. You UPS hiring. There you.
I'm glad we ain't on your show, bro. Look.
No shit.
Regina over there. Listen, when you be quiet, I get fired too.
I would have been like Rock
I would like to have some dialogue with you on that, and I'm gonna get my I'm gonna get that together and get at me though. I'm gonna show you.
I'd love to.
We gonna go on.
We should do that as a topic.
Journey with that. Watch our eyes.
Look, we can have a religious talk. We can have a religious talk, but what I'm trying to tell y'all is, if the Bible is a true book, why y'all arguing about it?
Because interpretation, everything is perception.
No, we're not. She's not saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying.
It's an argument.
But what I'm
it's
saying.
Not an argument.
You know what I mean?
It's not an argument.
Let me finish.
Interpretation is always what's the difference, and everybody interpreted it from the way from their point of view,
right?
Their standpoints. It's also was to me the Bible was also interpreted for the best way that they could at the time. So just like if say an airplane was to fly across the people in biblical times, how do you think they would describe that? They would describe it as a big bird up in the sky. They did it with the best that they had. So you can't go literal on everything. You got to go by what they know and their knowledge that they know and what they have going on at that time. So they gave the best description with the tools that they had. So you can't go literal on it. That's why the interpretation is real bad.
You got man's interpretation. Then you have God Almighty that impart understanding.
And we won't know that.
No,
we won't know that until we won't know what the true thing is. The thing is to try your best to do the best with the Bible that we do have in your understanding, so that when you do get there and you have you said you tried your best. That's exactly what it is. But you can't go word for word on every single thing in the Bible. You just cannot do it because, and then you try to relate it to this world, to the world we have now, because it's not relatable.
Yeah.
It's not relatable. You have to go by certain things.
Go ahead. And you have people like you got people like Frank who don't believe, and I understand those people because it's just folks who have never experienced the miraculous. And I feel for you. You know, hopefully one day you'll get there. You know what I mean? You know, and you're just a lot of people just understand from the natural understanding. But when you experience confirmation, that's the supernatural. You know what I mean? So I understand, man. I do. I get it.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Let me tell you why I don't follow the Bible, because this crap right here, what y'all doing, what y'all just did for a whole hour, that was a bunch of crap.
That was not no crap for you. It was. That's the natural understanding.
Hold on. Yeah. That wasn't no understanding. I didn't get no understanding out of what y'all just did.
No, what I mean, your perception is coming from the natural. Seeing things from the natural perspective, man. Okay.
Well, hell, I like
man, let me tell you something.
Tangible things I can touch.
I can share with you some unexplainable experiences, man. I can share with you some unexplainable. And my thing is, that's why.
Well, Ivan, I think what he's saying, Ivan, and I get it, and I get what both of y'all are saying. I think what Frank is saying is because he doesn't have, like you said, Ivan, because he doesn't understand where we're coming from on the spiritual level, right? So he's just seeing it from a man's level, and what he sees is just arguing, right? What he perceives,
right? Because
right. Go ahead, Miss Regina. Go ahead.
One pastor that I had once said, our biggest ministry is how we carry ourselves, and we can turn somebody off from learning the word just by the things that we do.
Right.
More people, you can turn more people off than you can turn on.
Right.
If all they hearing is arguing, they be like, why do I want to do all that? You know.
Right.
You know, they're seeing arguing instead of having a spirited debate. That's what
we see spirited debate. He sees argument. So I get both. I get both sides.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
He gonna see arguing anyway because he don't believe it. In his mind, a white man wrote that. And for the ones who have experienced the supernatural, we know better than that. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
So
the reason why
it's gonna be baloney to him anyway.
True.
Right. The reason why I say what I say is because if it's of God, it'll be plain and understandable.
It is plain and understandable. People,
if you say one thing, let me say this: if you say one thing and he say another thing and she say another thing, that's confusion.
Are different, Frank. That's like
that's confusion.
Frank, let us talk, man.
That's confusion.
Right, but that's confusion because our perceptions are different. So because we weren't able to sit with Christ himself and get the message ourselves, we have to go off of what was interpreted and what was
just make
And we also have to pray about what we read. Now, what makes it so funny that people are so quick to say that about the Bible, but they won't say that about the Kabbalion, which was also written by man, which I've also read. And they won't say that about the Quran, which was also translated and written by man, which I've also read. So what I'm saying is we're all following things that were written and translated by man.
Right.
You can't say
But what I'm saying.
Wait, but look, if you're to read the Kabbalion and believe the 42 principles of Ma'at, please understand that white people had a hand in writing that too, and I can prove it to you. Be careful about the books that you read and put your trust into.
Hold on. This is what I'm trying to tell you. All those books have a way of keeping people confused and separated.
Not so.
If you talk to a Muslim and a Christian, they ain't gonna get along. They're gonna say both of them supposed to serve the same God, but they all gonna say this what my God do versus what your God do. So it's gonna come down to that.
So let me. So
I don't condone confusion.
Can I give you this?
All it does is leave people against each other.
Can I give you this example?
It doesn't bring you together. It doesn't bring y'all together.
Can I give you two examples? My first example is this. When I was in college and I was taking trigonometry, I could be studying with two people that sat in the same class as me. We heard the same thing. We took the same notes. We sat there and argued for about 15 minutes about how to solve that problem because I saw something else, they saw something else, and we had to come to an agreement. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're at each other's throats and we don't like each other. That just means, and that doesn't mean that the math that we were taught was incorrect. It just means that we perceived it in different ways and we learned differently. Therefore, I processed the information different than my partner did. And until we were able to talk about it to a place where we could find some sort of, okay, I see why you took it that way because you thought about it this way. I thought about it this way. Let's find some middle ground, right? So the problem is that most people see Ivan and I, we're not arguing. We're just having a heated debate. We just happen to be passionate about what we're talking about. A lot of people, when they talk about religion, they focus on how they're different instead of focusing on how they're the same because God is constant. And when you look for God, you will find him. And if he's not there, then that's probably not a religion you want to be messing with. The point that I'm making is this. It's all about perception, and it's about talking to people to understand rather than to be right. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about, hey, feed me your information. And I may not fully agree, but then back your information up with facts so I can go and research the facts that you gave me so I can expound. When you're putting together a puzzle that has 1,000 pieces and you just throw them all in the floor, it looks like chaos, doesn't it? It looks like chaos until you start to put the corner pieces together. And now you got the border and now you can fill in the other little pieces. But when I pour all those pieces together on the floor, it first looks like chaos and everything looks like a big mess. And it's like that because of the Tower of Babel. We all used to believe the same thing, speak the same language until we were split up because we were being disobedient and tried to build a tower to reach heaven because that's what man does. We hard-headed. We want to know everything. And we said we're not going to sit down here and not know. We're going to build this tower and we're going to go to heaven without having to wait for God to take us to heaven. And God said, oh no, y'all being hard-headed. I'm going to split y'all up. And y'all gonna talk different languages, and y'all gonna not know everything because I don't need y'all to know everything. That's God's.
Hey, look, you can explain it all day long to Frank, but Frank is opposed to it anyway. You know what I mean? Hey, God gonna have to get an increase, and it's very much so possible.
It will. It will. We have to have those conversations in order to get to understanding, though. It will. I didn't always believe that I should be a part of a church or read the Bible all the time or do I thought we could just go through life experience and things, which you can, but you don't have to. The Bible is there to instruct you. It is not there.
Listen to me for 1 second.
1 second.
A man don't have to read the Bible. It's in your heart. If you want to do God's will, that's in your heart. It ain't got nothing to do with what's in that book.
Well,
if you got to read those instructions for the next 1,000 years, they're going to say the same thing and you're going to interpret the whole 1,000 more years.
Well, I think
because it ain't going to never come to an end.
I think the important thing I get why you feel like that.
Hold on. As a man, we have a purpose. A man have a purpose. a man has a purpose. So if he go about doing his purpose, which is God will, it's gonna work out. Right?
What God though, Frank?
But I think
it don't matter what God.
so.
You
So
just
I
do
think
God's will.
Well, I think what you don't understand about, I think what a lot of people, I won't say you, I think what a lot of people don't understand about the Bible itself is that the Bible is almost like, it's almost as if you have a great grandparent who left you a journal and you find their journal and you get to read about their life and you get to read about some of the things that they want you to know so that you don't make the same, like you don't make the wrong pitfalls in life. But the most importantly, the Bible lets you know about the contracts and covenants that we make with Christ. You're absolutely right. You can live a good life without ever reading the Bible, but you cheat yourself the same way you would if I bought something to put together and I never read the instructions on how to actually do it. I just followed the picture. It would probably still come out really well, but it may not come out. It may not be built with the same. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. I'm almost done. I promise. If I were to build it with the instructions, it probably would come out with a better building integrity because I actually read the instructions and followed what it told me was best to do by the person who built it. Right. So the person who created it is telling me, hey, this is the way that, because I created it, I'm telling you, this is the way that you need to put it together to get the best integrity out of what I built for you. And so that's what the Bible is. It is instructions on how to get the best out of the covenants that we are supposed to be making with Christ so that we can actually get the blessings. Wait, this is the most important part. That's the most important part. That you get the blessings on this earth that you were promised. Because you can go through your whole life without reading the Bible and you don't get those extra blessings. Because that's why some black people, that's why some people who don't believe in the Bible, they can look at another person's life and try to figure out, well, why they ain't doing everything, why they getting it, you know why? Because they figured out the algorithm. The algorithm is to pray and to read the Bible. So you actually have that map that other people refuse to look at. But because you have the map, now you know the shortest way to get there to those blessings. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, for me, I have experienced a lot of miraculous stuff, bro.
I have too.
A lot of it.
I have too. Man, I have too. God just showed up and showed out.
I can publish a book, bro.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
Can't nobody dispute what I have experienced. And I just leave it at that, bro. If a man can outdo that,
I appreciate
if another religion can outdo that, man, if another belief, then you can set me up.
But God be showing up and showing out. I'm gonna pray to show up for you, Frank.
A lot of miraculous stuff, bro. And I wasn't raised to believe that stuff.
Yeah,
I dig it, but let me tell you something.
It's all right. I mean, you don't have to believe it. It's not for us to force you to believe either. Right. It's up to God to reach out to you. You know, it's not up to us.
I never told y'all that I didn't believe in God. I told y'all I didn't believe in the book.
Well,
so I don't need a book to tell me which way
thank you for clarifying that for me.
Right. I don't need a book to tell me which way to go because I see what it does. I see what it.
Wait, Ivan. Wait.
Yeah.
I see how y'all act with the book, and I'm glad I don't read it.
Please, you don't tell them people that about football.
If y'all are arguing,
you argue about football. Frank, stop playing. You argue about football.
Exactly.
You argue about relationships. Stop playing, Frank.
You kill that, man.
Just because this isn't your topic that you get heated about, just because this ain't your topic, don't start bashing what we believe just because this ain't the one that you argue about. Don't play.
On that note, when I see you, I'm going to knock you out, bro. I'm knocking you out, man. And you know I can do it, bro.
Frank, you know Ivan over here ready to fight. Ivan, you can't do that because then he really gonna say Christianity ain't nothing. You can't be fighting people, bro.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, didn't Christ go in the temple and whoop them folks? When I see him, I'm whooping him.
He did.
All right, then. When I see him, I'm gonna treat him just like a Pharisee, and I'm not.
No.
Hey, that's what it is.
All right. So now you see why I really don't.
Man, please. You already got in your mind.
You know Frank just trying to rile us up. Stop playing, Ivan. Don't let that man rile you up.
Man, look. If Christian is y'all too, I don't even want to deal with it.
Well, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, hey,
If
Jesus
Christian
said he
been
came to help the sick. Jesus came
if
here. He
being
said
a
he came
Christian,
to help the sick. I'm one of the
Man,
sick people,
hey,
I guess.
hey,
I need help.
hey, man,
So,
hey, you may be what's his name? I can't even think his name. Old boy got knocked off the horse. You may be that right now, but you don't know.
Paul, you talking
You
about
might be one of
Paul?
us. Yeah. So he was Saul at first.
oh,
You may be Saul at first.
Saul.
Well, y'all, go me. Well, y'all sit up here listen to him. He read something. How about that?
Yeah.
Frank don't read something.
I know.
Frank
Frank just mailing y'all. Listen, Frank like to rile people up. That's what he.
I know it.
I know.
Like to rile people up. I'm laughing.
See, I'm gonna tell y'all something about Frank. Frank get SSI. You know what I'm saying? Frank gets SSI. So he trying to keep that government check going. You know what I'm saying? Frank get for real. Frank get SSI. So that's why he's doing it. Because he knows, if them folks really find out, they gonna cut him off. But Frank get SSI for real. So I feel it.
Oh, okay, show is over. It's been 3 hours. I'm done.
Yeah. I gotta get up. I got to.
I'm done playing with y'all tonight. I'm done playing with y'all.
Man,
y'all be well.
Y'all get the hell out this show.
Regina and
now Frank.
Elegance. I love the
take y'all look.
And Frank,
take y'all ass to bed and call me sometime tomorrow.
Look, I enjoyed it. Frank, Ivan, please don't think that I'm upset with you. I enjoyed our debate. I will do it again with you sometime. Please make sure and look that up though for me, because I don't know where that verse is in the Old Testament, and I really do. All jokes aside, I really would like to read that up and see that. And I'll go back and look again and see if maybe I missed something. Regina, I always love your additions because you the stable one. You the one who keep us calm because we all
No, I never took anything the wrong way. You just passed about where you coming from. I got that. Hey,
I just get passionate, y'all. I promise. There's no trauma. There's no anger. I just get real passionate about what I'm talking about. That's it.
That's good.
And sometimes it comes out the wrong way. But Frank, please don't post this until we're able to talk about chopping it up. That would be ideal.
Okay.
It needs to be shorter. Like I said earlier, because some people won't look at it just because they look at the time. So make it a little bit a little shorter, and maybe like 4 segments or something like that. And believe you me, I don't know how we got to religion. It shows. This is 2 whole shows right here. Okay,
it is. That's good though. That's what I told him we needed. We needed to start recording just whenever we can, and then we can have stuff to just put out there later. We don't have to record every Sunday.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
We don't have to record every Sunday.
We could have had abortion the first half, religion the second half. So
that's basically what it turned into, because we did about an hour. I was watching the time. We did about an hour and 15 minutes on abortion, and then this last hour and something was on religion. But we got 2 shows out of it, Frank. It actually worked out good, and we'll just have to cut it up and do it that way.
What time tomorrow you want to get together?
Can we do 9? Is that too late for you? Because I got a Bible class I gotta go to at 7. Can we do 9 p.m.?
Okay.
Is that too late for you?
All right, I'll see you. We y'all get off and go to bed.
Whatever. I'm trying to figure out what time tomorrow. Bye.
All right, 9 o'clock.
Okay. I'll get out of here. I see it.